I
Get.
didn't know you care enough about Crafty to give him a dislike.
Well, I'm gonna be watching. Oh no.
I'm gonna be streaming it.
Wait, hold
You're
on.
gonna be
Be
streaming
right
it. You're
back.
gonna be streaming it. So might as
Yeah.
well watch it through yours.
All
Yeah.
right, hold up.
Get this shit off my stream. Are you gonna stream it on Discord or just through YouTube?
I'm gonna. Oh wait, hold up. I have Gurren Lagann up.
Hello, everyone. Mr.
Okay,
But yes, girl,
I'm
look
gonna
on.
stream it on here. Gurren Lagann is actually
Bro,
amazing.
bro. It is. It is. Very well animated. It's got a pretty good story.
Oh,
Story.
over here. There we go. Okay, what was it you want to tell me? First, I promise I won't get rid of it, whatever the fuck it is.
Okay. All right. When Ryan gets back,
Alright.
it's gonna be the funniest thing today.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna make up for
Ethan.
all the Instagram reels that you did not watch.
Jeez, okay. Something. Can you at least tell me what it is that I don't have, what I should not take off?
Just wait.
Fine, fine.
How many fucking tabs do you have open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, this is just
6,
one. I
7,
have like
8,
what?
9, 10, 11, 12.
I have another one open from Toriko. I have
This
one from
man's got
Gurren
AI
Lagann.
detector open.
Oh, I was doing. Oh no, I was doing that for Devil's. The guy Devil was talking to.
Yeah, because I literally
ChatGPT was like, this is like 95% AI.
you got GPT to check it, and then you got
Hello,
AI
everyone.
detector as well to
All
check it.
I'm back.
Okay.
All right then.
So what was it?
You're not gonna take off the PFP. Die was Scarlet. She's a tsundere. Own up to it, nigga.
Well, I mean, actually, I kind of knew that, but like,
I
Sort
kind of
of.
knew that. No,
you
no,
know
you
what?
didn't.
I like being a Cinder.
Didn't-
You all can't say
you didn't
anything to me.
Kind of knew it. You fully knew it. You just refused to admit it.
Yeah.
Not like I want to be Scarlet or anything.
Little
Ryan
Cinder.
should have ended up being Agnes. Should have
Who is
been
Ryan?
like Agnes. Ryan's Fenemo.
Oh, you're Fenema, okay.
Peak.
I guess
Peak.
Noah has to be Agnes.
Agnes is actually Daiwa's dad.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. The
Gives you a lot
offspring.
of reason to call him daddy.
Daddy Tachyon.
I fucking hate this game sometimes, man.
What game? Uma
Alright.
Musume?
Sex simulator.
Oh, Sex Simulator.
Dude,
Okay.
none of them want to be with me.
So
Me
I'm
talking
doing
about,
you
like,
both a
this-
huge favor. I'm the one subscribed to Crafty and watching the video
I'm not-
for you. Also, you don't have to give him a view.
I'm not subscribed. I don't even watch his content really.
You only
no,
watch it
some
for
of them-
stream content.
I don't
Uh,
even know if I'm subscribed. Hold on.
The
you
way
are
I get
unsubscribed.
notified if this man makes a video is like if everybody else in the server like hears about it, posts the video, and then talks about it. I'm like, this man fucked something else up, didn't he? Oh
Of
yeah,
course
he
he
already did. Of course he did.
For some
hello,
reason, I'm
Chell 3310.
I just unsubscribed. Anyways, did you start?
Stream's already started, yeah.
Oh yeah, stream
No,
started.
but I still
He hasn't
remember
started
how
watching
like
the video.
Vil was talking. It was even bad when Vil was talking to Crafty. Even you were talking to him, Ryan. He's so
It-
ass in his rhetoric.
Like, I think I explained this to you and VC, and like I kind of alluded
You're-
to this like in text and bulk space. But
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't like Vil. I don't like him. I
Oh,
don't
I
like
know you don't,
Crafty even
Vil.
more. I
Oh,
don't
you
like both of
Crafty
them.
more?
I actually dislike Crafty more. Like,
I'm surprised.
well, Vil did that, but like the reason with Crafty is just that Crafty just never runs it. He's never gonna run anything. Right? So like,
I guess that's kind of fair.
yeah, with me, it's like I don't care about both parties. I don't particularly like any of the
Which one is
parties. I
shittier?
actually, which one is shittier? Crafty, but like both of them, you point a picture to me and say you got to pick one. I'm jumping out of the window 5 feet into my death.
It's
I'm
basically
gonna make
would you
sure
rather
that
have
I
your dominant arm or non-dominant arm blown off. That's basically what it is.
take my head off.
Just take my head off at that point.
Off with his head. But yeah, it's like Vil. I will say this: if it wasn't for the fact that Vil presented a scan, Vil would fall into the usual antics that I've noticed, which would be like, I don't believe this man can explain very, very well. This is coming from someone that self-admittedly, I suck at explaining shit. I severely do.
I mean, it's
One
not
of the worst.
terrible. Your explanations
No, I would.
are terrible.
All right.
No, I would say it's very.
What's
very
my what's my voice quality like? Is it clear? Is it
Sorry, Russell,
muffled?
voice quality is fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
It's
right back, but you
perfect.
keep continuing with what you were saying. I'm gonna get some water.
Remember, chat. Hydrate. Hydrate. Hydrate would. I was gonna put in gamer subs, but we're not sponsored. Not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. But yeah. Like Vil, the way he was explaining like the endless scan was just like it's self like explanatory, self-actualizing. It's like I get it, you're trying to explain to him, but like in this case, you don't explain to him. You don't even argue with him. You just say that's not my burden of proof. If you have an issue with,
he wasn't even trying. It's not that he was trying to explain how it worked or anything.
he wasn't, but like from the way I read it, go ahead.
He was just claiming that it was self-explanatory, to which it kind of is, but that's not how you should argue things. You can't just say something's self-explanatory because it says one thing and just call it a day. You have to argue the semantics around it in order to prove your point.
More so than that, more so what I mean by like explaining was like he's sort of trying to explain like it's self-explanatory. I shouldn't have to give you the definition beyond the dictionary. It's like you don't explain that to him. You just say, "Hey, you have an issue with the statement. You have an issue with the word I'm using. Prove me wrong. That's not my burden of proof. That's your burden of proof. Quit shifting the goalpost." And Crafty's entire point was like not even that he disagreed. It was just that like he believes himself to be like some very smart DMC scaler. It's like no. You've had a train ran on you multiple times. You go to everyone else around you for scaling. Like, no, just be quiet about it. Humbly accept. Yeah, I was saying like Crafty believes in stuff like he's very, very smart when it comes to scaling. No, none of the scalings are his personally. None of them come from his own mouth. No, none of them. He has never. No. Well, Vil, he asked for his help, but like he can at least he can articulate well. Crafty has never made a single scale for like any of his videos that have not come from solely himself.
Mm-hmm.
All of them either have a massive explanation that are from separate people, or the entire thing is just from someone else, scans included. He doesn't even explain where the scans come from.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Melissa Lewis. I saw that, Ryan.
Yeah.
Saw what?
Mr. Gay People or something. Mr. Balls. Anyways.
Mr. Balls.
So I do remember, yeah, we saw this, or not saw it, but like we heard about the video from Flame. I think he said it was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad. I looked at it. I immediately saw the comments already. I was like, this is completely terrible. I saw KT's comment. KT knows Crafty. Crafty ran from... Yeah, KT commented on it. He posted it in Hall of Doom.
Epstein's brain.
Yeah. He posted it in Hall of Doom as well. But KT commented.
Interesting.
Yeah, KT knows Crafty. KT... I think Crafty was also like... I want to say... Yeah, I think Crafty was in KT's server when it was still up.
Before it was nuked.
I want to... Before it was nuked. And again, this man was thrashed around in there because like he just wouldn't run anything.
Damn.
And then he kept asking like, hey guys, where does this go? Where does this go? You guys got skills for this? Just like...
Wait, is there someone named Jackie Esterosa?
I wouldn't know.
Because Scarface is saying Jackie Esterosa versus Spawn versus Hellboy Ghost Rider. Does he mean Jackie Estacado?
If he means Jackie Estacado, I'm gonna take extreme. Like
if Scarface shows up in the stream.
Scarface, if he shows up, I'm gonna be extremely fucking disappointed. It's Estacado. It's like the most fucking Italian name you can make.
There he is. Cool video, but Dante definitely wins. Doomslayer in the corner. Dante scales a lot higher comfortably with Doomslayer strong too. I mean, not really. He doesn't really. I have multiple videos of it on my channel, so I scale them a lot higher than Doomslayer, but still. What? Okay, what feats, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just gonna write some shitty comment. Better feats.
I explained this
made
on my video plenty of times, and then bro hits him with the "All right, what feats, son?"
It's like
Son of
it's like
Christ.
I made a lot of videos about like this character, right, on my channel. Okay, fine then. How many of those came from your mouth and your mouth alone? And also, like, why have you not talked about the people like literally telling you that those skills don't work?
Mhm.
Again, Crafty be moving that mouth.
Top
Be
10
doing a
things
little
that
bit too
never
much
happened.
Top 10 things that never happen.
Oh my god.
Does free will exist?
Does free will exist?
Does free will exist? Yes. Crafty is the biggest example of this.
Free will literally
woke-
exists.
Yes. He woke up and decided to lobotomize himself. Alright, then. I'm ready.
Crafty, if you're watching this, whoo, this is not gonna look
Crafty, if you're watching this, why did you duck from the stream?
Yeah, looking all quiet on the frontal lobe.
I thought you were about to say all quiet on the western front. It was literally like, yeah, the Nazis would have touched this guy with a 12-inch pole.
good. And I was like, he's lacking in the frontal lobe.
Yeah, it's lacking on the front lobe. All Quiet on the Western Front is such a great movie. Or is it Eastern Front? It's one of the fronts. I think it's Western or Eastern. But that's such a good movie.
Yeah. All right.
It's such a
let's get
great
started.
One,
World
Mr.
War-
Crafty here, and today we're going to be going over some of gaming history's strongest characters: Kratos, the Ghost of
History's
Sparta;
strongest
Dante,
characters.
the Son of Sparta;
Absolutely
and
not.
Doomguy, the Slayer. These three have a similar
It's
dynamic.
Doomguy
to
the
big
Slayer,
three
it's
of manga
Doomslayer.
and anime, as of which they have a massive following as well as influenced many of other franchises, to the point where people have coined this group the Divine Trio as per their
The
god
Divine
It's the
Trio.
Godly Trio.
So today we're going to find
Yeah, the
out
Godly
which of these
Trio.
three
I'm
hits
surprised you knew
harder,
that.
can run faster, and who can put the
I
other
can-
down for good.
Actually, you've
Without
been around
further
this-
ado,
the whole community
please
for a
Godly
enjoy.
while.
trio, like godly
Before-
solo.
Mm-hmm.
The Divine Trio is actually like a completely separate trio. If I'm fairly certain, it's Marvel and like DC, and it's like something else.
Isn't
It's
it
actually like a collective.
Cosmic Armor and the Darkest Night?
No. It's specifically gods. I think it's the Presence, Toa, and like something else. Because their
Yeah.
creators are gods. That's why. It's like
It's
the
sad that
Divine
they're
Trio.
all victims of Dante.
It's sad that they're all victims in their own verse, quite literally.
They're not even the strongest in their verse.
No, Presence keeps getting like
He's like a
jumped
fraud.
around. Well, no. The Presence isn't a fraud. It's the writers. The writers cannot maintain consistency. Toa is just a fraud in general.
I mean, Toa isn't even the strongest in his verse, and he's like, quote unquote, God.
He isn't. There's a lot of limitations placed upon him. Like, is he stronger than most of the characters? Yeah. Is he like the strongest? No, not consistently enough.
Hello, Technology Dynamic Company.
Brother in faith.
Yes.
Starting off, something I need to get out of the way is due to the context of these characters, I'm not going to entertain the
Context of the
horrendous
characters.
low-ends for these guys, like how Munis's
The horrendous-
death can cause an entire island to be destroyed, or the Crucible can produce 3 times the energy of the United States. For reference, just how crazy these characters are,
That would
Kratos
actually
has
be a
more
eyeball.
universal feats than he has city feats.
Universal feats and city feats.
Okay,
what
but
universal
please
feats?
present them.
Name a single uni feat that Kratos has ever presented in God
I can
War
guarantee
series.
he's never going to come back to this point. He's just going to say universal, and that's it.
Well, no.
Oh.
He's gonna talk about the Yggdrasil, and then he's gonna talk about the primordials from both the Egyptian, or not the Egyptian. We don't really hear about the Egyptian, but from the Greek and the Norse pantheon. That's how he's
Yeah.
gonna mention universal. He's gonna be hard pressed to find anybody that scales the primordials, but like that's a separate case.
I mean, even then, if we want to talk about universal feats, by feats alone, Dante still has the best via Mundus.
Yeah.
But like the entire context is like he's not gonna entertain the downplays, but it's like if you're gonna say that, then you're openly admitting you're not gonna cover an extensive amount of material because you have to mention the downplays because those don't come out of nowhere, right?
And that's why
They
debates
use-
on Facebook and Reddit.
Yeah, because like those downplays come from either cherry picking or some sort of disingenuous or even genuine arguments regarding like the scans in general or the lore. So
Exactly.
you have to cover the misconceptions. You can't just dismiss them.
Mm-hmm.
Like this wouldn't even be how you correctly do a video. This is probably one of his worst videos yet so far, just because it is.
We're not even a minute in the video and it's already terrible.
It's worse than any of his other videos. It's actually worse than the dimensional requirement
I was
video.
gonna
And
say,
I
is it
just
worse than dimensional ones? But no, it's
Yes.
not. Well, I mean, it is worse.
it is worse somehow. It's just because he's already feigning ignorance because he's just not going to cover misconceptions.
Yeah. Hello, Faust. I'm back in the stream. Nice, welcome back. All right, let's continue.
So we're just going to be going over the general scale for these characters without the need to start at a low end and work our way up. And on that note of scale, again, due to the nature of these feats and characters, they've been put into that higher dimensional tier. But as I've expressed in recent videos,
absolutely not. There's no way he's referencing this video. There is no way.
Well, let's see what he says.
Oh my god.
there's no inherent scale to higher dimensions, and it's completely dependent on the
wait
verse
a
and
minute.
No.
Wait, no, wait. Again, he's still with this self-contradictory, like, this argument is self-collapsing. If there's no inherent value, right, then how are you comparing? How are you comparing it? Because by this logic, there is no value you can place on per verse. You just deaf of the author yourself. Quite literally. You
Well, how did he deaf of
committed
the
what the
author
Marx... Well, because he's basically saying that because it's dependent on the verses, there's multiple interpretations for where you would actually place this in any sort of system. He's
Oh.
basically saying there's no real system. He literally just committed what the Marxists hate and what they literally tried to do with Death of the Author. He just Death of the Author himself. Like, no, it's completely just a wrong position because you're still comparing it to something because you're comparing three characters. You're comparing it. So this is just completely and factually wrong.
By that logic, you can't scale any verse. Like, by that logic.
By that logic,
no
I should
verse-
not hear tier 2 or tier 1. I shouldn't.
By that
Everything's on the
logic,
signal.
no verse in fiction can even reach 4D.
Exactly. You know what, Ryan? You're right. Every verse in fiction, city level, even DMC. It's sad.
True.
I mean, what do you mean? It already is. What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crafty.
Dante got hurt by a
Your
wall
wise
of
words.
attack.
He was about to die from an island exploding on him.
Nah, bro. Dante gets hurt from bullets. I don't know what you're all about.
Exactly. Remember when he got shot in the head? Oh wait, that didn't do anything to him. Remember when he got stabbed by Force Edge? Oh wait, that didn't do anything to him.
Remember when he couldn't destroy a building?
Oh wait, he did destroy that building.
No, he didn't.
No, with Chen.
He just broke the... Oh, no, now I'm talking about China. I'm talking about the anime.
Remember when he
Oh, the
couldn't
anime.
push a door open?
Oh yeah, he kicked the door.
Three times in a row.
Even Jester was just rage baiting him, just like, oh hey, no need for violence. Shut up.
No need for violence. Talking about like one of the most violent men he could have met at the time.
Exactly.
Literally murdered his own wife.
Murdered his own wife just to study demonic energy.
Just to become a demon. Crazy.
At least he's stronger than Pluto, so.
Well, not base-wise. He needs Sparta.
Oh, well, yeah, he needs Sparta, yeah. When are you going to say mute in your gag voice, lol? Oh, this guy wants you to say, do the constipated voice, Max.
Maybe later this stream.
He's good.
See.
He's just gonna tear his throat apart doing that.
It's gonna come out after the amount of bullshit we see in this video. Enough to
gonna
make
come
a farm jealous. Anyways.
feat.
Yeah.
So, starting us off, Kratos, even before reaching his divinity by the end of God of War 1, he was able to fight the likes of Atlas. Said Atlas, with the power of the sun, can destroy the World Pillar within a couple of strikes. This is important as the World Pillar supports all of the Greek cosmos, and in destroying...
Wait a minute.
Why?
No.
What is this?
Let me see if this is one of the
Oh,
fake
this is
scans.
This is
This
important
is
as the
the
World
one.
Pillar...
Wait,
Is
hold on.
that one the fake one?
which
I don't think
scan?
this one is. A sacrifice to save all creation, Chains of Olympus.
Why is Facebook a reliable source?
Pillar is spelled wrong too. Is this fake?
Here,
And why is there only
here,
60 comments? There should be a lot more than that. December 1000. What? Are you guys seeing this?
This December 1000.
Pillar is
Done
spelled
yet.
wrong.
I
Again,
listened to the
cursive, the
I'm trying to
grammar's
find
wrong.
it. I'm trying to find it. Wait, I'm trying to find it. There should be. Should be.
And for a
Kills.
big popular company like this, why is there only 2.2k likes and only 60 comments?
Since when?
I have never once seen Zim or Mangler use this, and they've used basically every single Twitter or Facebook or any statement online. They've never once used this. Mangler didn't even address
Right
this.
here.
Is this fake?
I'm trying to see. I have like a document somewhere here. There's gotta be.
I know the DMs were fake. Like the person who made the DMs outright admitted they were fake.
Yeah, this is trying to say like he posted like my life is a lie, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can find it. That's why I can't seem to find it. God diggity.
Upon discovering Persephone's true plan and all creation, Kratos sacrifices seeing his daughter in order to save her. For all creation ceases, so would she. He attacks the pure souls in. I mean, he attacks the pure souls in Elysium, regaining his powers and his curse. His ghost was part of that. I think that's kind of wrong. He can't even interact with souls in God of War 2018.
Nah. He couldn't even interact with Athena, as
Yeah.
far as I'm aware.
I'm pretty sure when when he swings the sword to himself, the sword actually just goes straight through her.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find it. I think this is one of them. I could be wrong.
Regardless, this scan doesn't really do much in the beginning. Guys,
Just destroy the world,
city
but-
block level or just town. I have them at like town level plus because of Dark Ages.
Yeah, you get shot down onto the surface of the planet, which should be like just off of sheer kinetic energy, and it has to be like around at the very least multi-city block plus going into town.
And then
What-
you start
what
off,
would
he
be-
is stronger.
Yeah, and what would be small town? Small town. I don't really like small town as a tier, but like small town. There you go.
Wouldn't small town just be like multi-city block?
Would be closer to town than multi-city block. It's a dumb like.
Oh, so it's like low 1A.
Small town is still regarded as a town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. That's what I'm
Anyways.
saying. It's stupid. Either which way.
Why does it say like, December 1000 though? That's what's really making me weird. And why is Pillar spelled wrong? This is an official company, and how did he post this with a straight face? What? Anyways.
Supports
It
all
only has
Henry
4
Cosmos,
shares.
and destroying it.
Yeah, okay. Here's more. March 4, 2008,
Wait, more?
November 11, 1000.
2008. What?
Can anyone actually fact check this? Wait. Oh,
I'm trying
hey,
to see-
Mangler. That alleged website scan is fake. There's no source for it anywhere on the site or Wayback Machine. The actual Chains of Olympus guide refutes them being literal souls as the description for Kratos. Okay, so these scans are fake. These scans are fake. Mangler just confirmed.
I'm trying to find that. Like there was like a page for it because like me and Mangler talked about this in Arena.
I do remember you had that Imgur link, or not Imgur link, the whole doc of a bunch of scans being fake. That means Doomslayer gets defeated by Van Deer. How interesting. Jay, how long are you going to be streaming for tonight? I'm going to be doing 2 videos. I'm going to be doing this one and then, what is it? Vegeta versus Thor. Killing them confirms he snaps the bones in their neck. That implies that they have a physical structure to their supposed soul while in Elysium. Interesting.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Well, while you're in here, Mangler, do you wish to join the stream as a commentator?
Yeah, I can add Mangler in the stream VC.
Yeah.
Actually, wait. Can you check the stream? Actually, wait. I don't think we should add Mangler in this GC. What if he sees the stuff before?
We could just move to the server.
All right, sure. Of course, only if you want to, Mangler.
Yes. But yeah, The reason why I knew these were fake wasn't because of the date, was just because these are from Facebook. The ones from Facebook get posted around a lot with the actual like link to this, like the what's it called, like to the actual image, to like the actual post.
Yeah.
Nobody actually like takes the image off of the post, like screenshots this.
Mm-hmm.
They actually just sent the link. So like that's the immediate way like I knew it.
I think the other thing that made me feel really weird is why is this what? This is 16 years old.
Oh.
No, not 16, 18 years old, and it only has 343 likes and 6 comments and 5 shares. God of War was popular during this time. Why doesn't it have more than that?
Well, then, Mr. Mangler, it looks like it will be another night because after the stream, I also have to
late night, I guess. Oh.
Indeed, yes. Let's move this over to your VC.
Yeah, let's move this over.
Let's make this perfectly clear. The last one there isn't gay.
No, you bitch.
Who's gonna leave
You
first?
bitch.
Who's gonna leave first?
Well, that
Alright, you're gay, Ryan.
I mean, that's kind of the point.
I joined the wrong. I joined the wrong VC.
Which one did you join?
I joined yours. You should be able to join. You have perms, Mr. Mangler. But you're
Wait, Jacob, can you share your screen?
Yeah. Here, give me a moment. Oh, hello,
Yes,
Mangler.
yes. I have the stream pulled up regardless, just in case.
I saw that scan and I was like, man, that
Every Facebook scan.
man that scan makes me feel old. I remember seeing that thing years ago.
You remember seeing it
there's-
in the year 1000?
Yes. So every time you will see a website scan, it will always be from Chains of Olympus, allegedly. It is always exclusively from Chains of Olympus. It will never be over any game for some reason, because they're obsessed with fabricating information about that game. You kind of find this out about most God of War fans, that they'll find sources for one specific source for one game, but not for another. So like, there's allegedly art book scans or things for Ghosts of Sparta. There's allegedly website scans and minigame things for Chains of Olympus. There's allegedly other like side content for God of War 3. And it's always a different source for each one of them, which always ends up turning out to be either directly fake because it's directly taken from artwork that's just taken from an actual guide.
Yeah.
B, it's explicitly fake in the sense that it directly contradicts official material for the same thing. It's not even like in the Chains of Olympus guide, when you get to the mission where you're in Elysium and you're talking to your daughter, in order to leave Elysium, you specifically have to commit crimes. So you start killing the pure souls of Elysium, and it says that you have to snap the bones in their necks. And I'm like, okay, yeah, so those aren't like souls then, the same souls that are like in the river Styx. Those are like actual physical bodies. They're just called souls because they're alive in the sense that like they're a soul.
Yeah.
They're alive in the sense that they're a soul, or they're dead in the sense that they're not in the living realm.
Yeah. So like when someone says there's not a soul in this building, they don't mean a literal soul. They just mean something that is alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they're using it.
Faust, there's people that made Dante lose to freaking Chara, like Clown Baba. What do you think? That's a lot of hooey, a lot of horseradish, if you ask me.
You would like horseradish. Oh, no, wait, no, you're not Chinese. Just
I'm not
never mind.
Chinese. I'm Korean.
You telling me that Koreans don't like horseradish?
I mean, it's okay, but anyways.
Hearing ping pong between your mic, but now it's fine. I fixed it.
Oh,
He
interesting.
fixed it by leaving. I think this wasn't an issue. I think this was just a personalized issue.
We're not doing a rage baiting Mangler stream.
What is this video again? Is this
This is
wait? Is
Crafty.
this the Mr. Crafty one? This has been
Crafty.
recommended to me by so many people.
The supposed
Really? Oh.
God trio versus all each other.
And by recommended, I mean they keep asking me to debunk it, and I'm like, don't I have better things to do with my time?
You don't
And they're
care
like, no,
enough
you
about
don't.
Crafty.
Crafty doesn't care enough time about Crafty. I don't think it really matters to do like an individual
You
video.
can probably just move on at this point. There's nothing here that's like
Yeah.
that this isn't a self-substantiated source.
But it's
would
funny.
thus end all
It's funny.
creation.
36
This notion is
heads.
not only brought up within supplementary material, but even re-established over a decade later within God of War Ragnarok, showing that Atlas with the power of the sun is quite literally able to destroy the likes of the Greek universe. And to address the power of the sun,
Yes,
this isn't the sun's inner...
which is just Greece. So it's like an island. But like he's also going to die to that same explosion. Well, actually, it's not an explosion. So what his plan was to take Helios's power because he was so weak at the time from losing his soul and being tortured in the underworld that he was just going to take the power, put it inside of his fist, and then punch his fist into the world pillar until the world pillar was damaged and partially destroyed, causing the mortal realm to fall down onto the pillar, crushing it, and then falling all the way to Hades and basically killing everyone in Hades. Or the underworld, as it's called, because technically they're the same thing. Like, and any God of War fan might find that weird, but that's actually how they address it in actual Greek mythology stories. They call the underworld Hades.
Yeah.
But basically, Persephone directly confirms that everyone is going to die when the world pillar falls, even her. She's going to die, the gods will die, everyone will die. So that also includes Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you wanted to use that as a feat, even if you thought it was uni, everyone dies. So
Everyone
none
dies,
of them
so
are
it's not like-
very- none of them scale to it. None of them are in the tier of that attack. And the gods are going to die, and that's actually the weirdest part, because the gods are on Mount Olympus, and Mount Olympus is physically attached to the mortal realm at the top of the highest mountain. So even if they were asleep during these events, they should be perfectly fine, and they're still going to die. They're still going to die. Like, to put it in perspective, like, if we're just talking gravity, they're on the top of a mountain. So, like, the only people who would be directly affected would be the people on, like, the surface floor, I guess. But I guess the shock wave is going to reverberate all the way from, like, the bottom all the way up to the top and just kill everyone on it. Or cause, like, a massive explosion and kill everybody. So, no one there scales to that. That's just wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, then again, they would still carry the acceleration from the gravity drop.
Well, either way, it doesn't matter what you scale it to. It's still wrong to claim it's anything higher than like an island or higher than the size of the Greek country. But it doesn't even matter if you think of the universe. The islands in Greece are very small.
Yeah.
They're pretty tiny.
So like it's just mountain at best.
Like, okay, so technically every island is island level regardless, because you're not dealing with just the surface area of the island. You're dealing with what's under the water.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And in the case, that is definitely the case for, obviously, Greece, because the underworld is literally in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's obviously larger than an actual island.
Yes.
But anyway, we can continue.
Hey again, Mangler. I remember Mangler talking in other videos. He is a cool guy. He is a cool guy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
As we see that the sun or Helios's power can illuminate the entirety of the underworld, which in game descriptions described as a chasm of immeasurable magnitude, and with the
Immeasurable magnitude.
That just means
where-
the underworld, which in game descriptions described as
What?
Is this game
very, very
real?
big?
Hades' domain found deep beneath the earth, a scarlet chasm of the
That-
the only thing I
I
remember
believe
though-
that one.
Yeah.
I believe that one is, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that-
So
Even if we
I-
want to assume
One at a time.
immeasurable somehow means. Am I
Mhm.
speaking or are you speaking?
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, but like as I was saying, even if we want to somehow assume that immeasurable would mean infinite to that extent, it wouldn't really matter, as that kind of gets contradicted due to the fact that the primordials take millions upon millions of eons to actually create a finite universe.
Yeah.
I would actually
for them
argue
to
that
create-
there's bigger issues with it. Sorry to interrupt you, but the bigger issues would be just the fact that the term immeasurable in this case just means like a really large amount of space. You can only really take the interpretation for immeasurable meaning infinite when it's referring to a space that actually has the potential itself to be immeasurable. So a good
Yeah.
example, when you're referring to the universe or a dimension in its entirety, the underworld is not a dimension in its entirety, even if you think it is a universe, because it's still physically located under the fucking planet. It doesn't matter how much you think it is. Like, let's say I accept the position of the Greek world universe. Congratulations. The underworld would still be in the earth. So you can't conclude that it would be infinite regardless.
It's an
It just doesn't work.
planet.
It's attached to the planet.
I mean, the other part
Hello,
that like
Jaden.
would be worse is that like I'm fairly certain Helios's light doesn't actually illuminate the entirety of the underworld. If I remember correctly.
The only thing they are using is just specifically that cutscene. We never have a feat of Helios's light actually lighting up the underworld. Whenever people tell me that to me, I have to remind myself they're referring to a cutscene that's only mentioned
Yes.
one time and then never again, ever for the
Yes,
entire
because
series.
when we fight
Yeah.
Helios, when he does the flashbang attack, it doesn't even stand out past the arena.
Mine
doesn't
was
even-
trying to
it
stop
doesn't even
Kratos
cover-
at that moment.
It doesn't even cover the whole arena.
Kratos doesn't even react to it. He gets perception blitzed by it. He only raises his hand a second.
Yeah, you know, if they were actually really fly, if they wanted to support this conclusion, they would have had examples of Helios like trying to flashbang him. It's like, feel the power of the sun, and you just get like one of those, you know, like one of those scenes in one of those, just like a pan out shot that you get in those big movies where it's just like the planet, and then you just see like a flash of light over one of the land masses. That would have been a good example. That
Yes.
wouldn't have supported the position completely that it could cover an emphasized space, but that definitely would have supported the position that his light could cover a massive distance. They
Right,
never
that one
even did
area.
that. And it would have been incredibly easy for them to do it.
They could have pulled the Final Fantasy after the Final Fantasy did this.
There's
Final
so
Fantasy
many
VII
ways you could have
Victorious.
portrayed that scene to do it, and it's not even like they don't even bother to do that.
And they had a massive budget for this game, so like, yeah.
Well,
It
for
could've
God of War
been done.
3, not for Chains of Olympus.
Oh yeah, forget this is Chains of Olympus.
No,
Regardless,
they
it's
had it
still
for God of War
fixed
3.
They had
No,
God of
no
War
excuse.
3. Yeah,
No,
they had
this
God of
isn't
War
a fake
3, God of
scan.
War
This is
down.
just a scan that requires illiteracy to argue this
Oh.
position.
Oh, okay.
The fabricated scans of Olympus.
Oh my god.
You can continue.
There's a chasm of immeasurable magnitude, and with the actual art or VFX directors claiming it's
Oh,
a space
this.
with infinite
What's
distance,
that?
which was
Oh, jeez.
kept in the official
yes.
artwork.
This one. You were talking
It seems like there's this infinite distance in the background. But yeah, that's typically what artists do when they try to describe something that is like really, really like large and
Big.
spacious, because they're explaining the artistic vision. They're not literally saying there is an infinite amount, volumetric amount of space.
Even then, infinite in this context could just mean like an insanely large number.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. That's typically how infinite is used. When I
Yes,
say
but
something is infinitely bigger than something else, which I use a lot in my sentences to illustrate that infinite is supposed to be, most times, is supposed to be used to describe something as massively larger than an object. You are
So
not literally
it's
arguing it is a non-finite amount of space.
Yeah.
It's
But
not even
according-
literally infinite in the slightest.
But according to this video, every time I say that, apparently I have somehow stumbled upon an object of such massive cosmic proportions it's larger than the universe we live in.
Of course.
Interesting.
Alright. Let's see.
The guy
Oh, but yeah, Max, I do remember you were talking to a Stark Edits about this. But he thought, oh, well, this says it was infinite. No, that's just talking about it looks
No.
infinite.
It's trying to portray what would be like an artist, as Manuel said. What would like what an
There's-
artist like draws a painting.
There's plenty of ways to describe something as being infinite if you want the infinite word. Like, I have to be very clear about this. Infinite is not an adjective. It's a noun.
Mhm. Infinite
It's
is
a
location.
person, place, or thing. Yes, you can use infinite in respect to distance, but you also have to have the proper setting for the word distance to have that meaning. And contextually, it can't be being used in the context of like an artist statement. Like, it would be better if it was referring to an area outside the planets, or like something that was like a completely separate dimension or something like that. Like, sure, but it's just the underworld, the place we've established that is in the earth.
It's underneath,
which is stated in both
Greece.
Chains of Olympus and God of War 1 and God of War 3 and God of War 2. And well, you get the point. Like every God of War game.
I mean, in God of War 3, Kratos literally just falls from Mount Olympus to Hades. So
He falls directly there. He falls there in 1, and the 1's novel confirms it's there. 2's novel confirms it's there. 1's instruction manual confirms it's there. 3's art book confirms it's there. Like, holy crap.
no, they're separate space times. Trust.
Yeah, so I would take every infinite statement and I would toss it out completely, because the context of what they were referring to, like where the space is located, rules that interpretation unsound.
Yeah. Let's continue.
Indeed.
of God
Yeah,
of
so
War,
this is the
meaning
same
the
point.
sun, or at least Helios's personification of it, isn't some star-level energy source, but quite literally a source of infinite energy,
High
with
uni-
all
oh
this
my
scaling
God.
to a mere demigod.
It wouldn't be
Kratos, who,
high
funny
uni,
enough, can also
even if the underworld is universal, even if all of the things I said were incorrect, and it still wasn't being used as that sentence in the context, it still wouldn't be high universal, because it's mostly just light again. Like,
Oh yes, light scales
The
to
way-
ADC.
well, so the problem is that, like, while Helios's light can have powers to burn you, the way he actually uses it against Kratos is just kind of to flashbang him. Like, whereas the only person that actually uses it to damage anything is specifically what's his face? Atlas. Where he's like concentrating it inside of his fist to power up his fist to give himself more energy.
What do you mean, Kratos?
So you would just be arguing there'd be like an infinite amount of energy within Helios's power that could be extracted and like converted into a fuel source that you can then use for power. But that's very different from saying like, oh, I Superman laser faced your fucking attack with this thing that has infinite attack potency. That's a little bit different than saying that I have a backpack with infinite energy in it that I can like pull stuff out of.
Yeah.
Well, like even
Little bit different.
scientifically speaking, you wouldn't even say the heat has a production value, even if like we assume it could cover the entirety of the infinite underworld, assuming the underworld is in fact like its own fully volumetrically like infinite dimension. The formula for calculating how hot something is, or just Q, wouldn't even mathematically work out to allow the light to have an infinite energy production. The mass in general of the light wouldn't even be infinite because it's moving light, it's not sitting, so it would have negligible mass even if it did. But since it's moving, it would have no mass.
Yeah.
Mathematically and like scientifically just wouldn't even be anywhere close to, I would argue, law level.
Anyway, we can continue.
Yeah.
What's he gonna say?
This.
channel infinite power through his attacks when channeling his rage. Only for when Kratos achieves his divinity,
That's
he can
not
fight and
his
kill it.
rage, though. It's like he just didn't read the scan on the screen. It says the rage of the gods. That is a power-up transformation that he activates that he can't deactivate until the duration is done. And all it does is give him access to an infinite supply of magic so that he can spam his magic items over and over and over again. Which, spoiler warning, if he's doing that, he only has about, 20 to 30 seconds if you're going with game time. Maybe
Yeah.
a little bit longer in the lore, but the problem is that we don't really get feats for the Rage of the Gods in God of War 1's novel. We do get feats for the Rage of Titans, but the Rage of the Gods has, almost no feats at all in, actual lore. It only has the gameplay presentation, so you would only really have the gameplay to depict how it's working out. We don't know how he conducts that power. So yeah, it's fair to say he has infinite magic if we're giving him the fully upgraded versions of the weapons, which I don't see any reason why you wouldn't. I think it's fair game. They're his weapons. But it's not his rage, and it's only gonna last 20 seconds. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways.
Congrats, I guess. 20 seconds of Poseidon's Rage. Because that's the best super in that game. Bar none.
Actually, yeah. Continue.
channeling his rage. Only for when Kratos achieves his divinity, he can fight and kill Ares, who's noted to be one of the four of the mightiest Olympians behind Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Only for Kratos to receive mini amps during the events of God of War 3. So what does this all mean for Kratos? Well, we know even Kratos as a demigod could scale to the Greek universe, which contains several realms, such as the living universe and the underworld. As we've already established, the underworld is pretty concretely, mathematically infinite in magnitude and size.
Mathematically infinite.
Mathematically infinite. Yet this guy has not used a single piece of mathematical evidence to even prove it's infinite.
I have not seen a single calculation, no pluses, no minuses, no subtraction, no division.
Multiplication,
Nothing.
no exponents. Literally
No square rooting, nothing, not even the mention of those terms in the lore or any sort of like quantitative amount other than just the word infinite or immeasurable being used in a sentence, and then arguing and extrapolating a mathematical interpretation from that, which is a little bit different.
I mean, like, this man didn't even bring up one of the most famous formulas for, like, what would be, like, an infinite universe. And it's just Einstein's static universe. Like,
No. Don't need that. We got art statements. That's all you need.
Sponsor, do you know who Living Legend is? That guy is an OG and he debated you saying Pluto is stronger than Mundus. What?
Living Legend? Don't remember that. Pluto
You
is
don't
stronger
remember?
than
Anyway, we
Mundus.
Yeah,
Maybe if this, like, on Discord, no. YouTube comments, no one has ever, like, presented the option to debate me on Discord, which is where I would need to debate them.
can continue.
However, you can make the case that the living universe is on a similar scale, as it is noted in God of War
See,
novelization.
the infinite sky. He's cherry picking.
bro.
Oh,
Wait, which page is this?
Yet another example of the thing that I mentioned where you lack the proper context in the novelization.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember which page this is.
This is one of the earlier pages before. This is at the very beginning before Poseidon has actually given his power to Kratos. When Poseidon's just kind of off doing his own thing, and Athena shows up to Poseidon to ask for him to give his boons to Kratos on his journey, and he basically says, "Hey, there's a Hydra in your seas, by the way." It's like, there's no way there'd be a Hydra. And then he looks over there, like, wait a minute, there's a Hydra in my seas. How did that get there? It's like, oh, it was sent there by Ares. Because you know you have to like that. That's how you know he's a god of the water. You have to tell him there's actually something in the waters because his powers are just so capable of detecting that himself. Anyway, fraudulent behavior aside, he has to be told that the Hydra's there, and then afterwards he goes to give Poseidon's Rage. The infinite sky statement is just a description for like where the water spout is coming out of the ground next to where Athena stood, and it's just going up to the sky, and it describes the sky as being infinite. But the description of the sentence isn't supposed to be about the sky. It's just visually depicting where the water spout is coming out of the ground to give you an indication of like Poseidon appearing in the air. And Poseidon's not even like giant like he is normally. Like there's actually a completely different scene where he's talking with Ares where they make it clear they've literally become like giant forms, and they're standing on the banks next to like the Mediterranean, and they're massive. That's a good example of like a graphical or like a visual indication of size, depiction, and difference. This is just like, I would just argue
Flowery
like,
language.
yeah, it's not really like just like, oh hey, you know, the sky's large. Like, no shit, it's the size of a planet.
It's the sky.
It's an atmosphere.
People seem to forget that the way people depict the sky is as it is throughout literature, infinite. Metaphorically, of course.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you can apply the same thing to the cosmos. The only difference is that the cosmos is applying to a much, 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 much larger body of something. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's bigger ground to argue that's legitimately infinite.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the heck this is supposed to be.
Oh, we're all just cherry picking. Terrible.
To have an infinite sky, which normally would be considered hyperbolic, but when within the
Normally
context of the
considered
series, I
hyperbolic.
can see how it's meant to be taken literal. Either way, you argue that even demigod Kratos could be within that high
What?
universal to low multiversal range.
Wait,
However,
where do you get low multi from?
And
Because
what?
he thinks the living world and the Hades is two separate space times.
Wait,
I love how they
this-
say
but-
it's not
no, Moses-
contextually hyperbolic, but they ignore the fact that it's all on one planet. So it's like, yes, it literally would be.
Yeah.
This man went from high 3A to tier 2. Where's the space on continuum from? Where'd you get the higher
haggling.
dimension, Crafty?
He haggled it in.
He didn't explain it. He knows his fan base is retarded. They're not gonna
This
question him.
this man went from saying, "Oh my goodness, guys, there's higher dimensions," but like within fiction, higher dimensions, it's always case dependent on the verse. There's really no set standard we can use. To opening his mouth in this video, never providing a higher dimension, is saying, "Guys,
Yeah, there's a
I
higher
think it might be
You know,
low multi."
I probably shouldn't have any caffeine, but I'm gonna have caffeine, so it's gonna be very long.
We love caffeine.
That's good.
Alright, guys, I have to go. I'll be back. Alright, see you, technology.
All right, yeah.
Continue.
talk
So,
about the
yeah,
Norse
it's-
saga,
No, you continue.
Okay.
which does give some massive cosmology buffs. As with the introduction of Yggdrasil, the
No.
world
Oh,
tree,
not
it would give us a
Yggdrasil.
greater
No way.
I think Kratos' conversation with Ratatosk completely debunks this.
I think that might be the first time I've ever heard someone, even a God of War power scaler, argue that like, yeah, the Norse cosmology comes along and gives like massive cosmology buffs. Like, oh the fuck, it doesn't. The Norse pantheon is like the worst thing to happen to God of War scaling ever. The only thing protecting you before was like the pure ignorance of like how the cosmos was like being made, and just us just assuming the Greeks knew everything that they were talking about. Which someone could have made an argument that with the source material the God of War games provided, that was not entirely true.
I mean,
but
I think
at least
debunk it.
Process themselves debunk it like back then, but like I would say like back then Cory Barlog didn't control the franchise, so it was a lot easier to argue like his worldview wasn't God like it is now, where now him and Aria Lawrence run the franchise, because Aria Lawrence is the one directing Laufey.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, she's the girl that said that wrote for well, she wrote for several different games, but she was one of the main writers for Ascension. And when she was asked about it, she said like, I always assumed all the Greek gods were the same planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's always how she's interpreted it. They were always living on the planet. I'm like, that person's gonna be writing your world about the afterlife of the gods?
You know, for once I agree with the God of War fans, I genuinely don't want the new game to come out.
Well, they don't like
Nice.
for different reasons.
You got,
I don't
listen,
like it
this
for
is a bit of a
different
segue, and I know it's taking up time, but you have to choose. Do you want good gameplay or cosmology? This is God of War. You have to choose one.
Play.
If you get one, you have to give up the other.
Well, here's the thing. If I choose the good gameplay, I know what I'm getting into the story. I know I'm just gonna inherently dislike the new God of War game, story-wise. So,
Although I
just
say
give
that,
me
I
cosmology.
technically say that, but then the Norse games exist, which don't have good gameplay and don't have a good cosmology.
Yeah, I was gonna say both of you assume the new games have good gameplay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how you could go to the conclusion that it's like, yeah, it's, you know,
It upscaled the
I've
cosmology.
just never heard anyone say that, because Ragnarok debunks their positions so hard.
Yeah. Oh,
Not even Kev said that, and like Kev was just trying to dog on like God of War 4 and Ragnarok when it came out, and just like, no,
Kev.
no, this isn't right. No,
Oh, dude,
this isn't right.
he sucked his dick so hard, and he's been quiet ever since then. He's like, I'm gonna migrate over to Spawn, and I'm like, yeah, you will. You'll do exactly you'll do exactly what
migrate-
everyone else does. You'll run away like a little bitch.
You'll
Because you
migrate over
guys
to spawn
always do.
scaling. You'll migrate over to spawn scaling and use the exact same thing you're using for God of War scaling to use for spawn scaling, being
Okay,
a
so,
fucking
hang on.
disingenuous rat.
I'm kind of segueing us to it. Oh, I hear
Yeah.
a fire alarm in the background.
Oh, Ryan.
So
Wait, what is it
Yggdrasil
here?
roots, he's probably just going to argue they transcend space and time. Therefore, because of those words in the sentence,
Tier two.
this is now one dimension above everyone else. Let me make a prediction.
He probably is.
All
Oh,
right,
Ryan, were
play
you
it.
gonna say something?
I was gonna say, shouldn't we move on? Because like we're getting
Oh, yeah.
sidetracked.
Mm-hmm.
Expanse of the cosmology, as it not only encompasses the Norse cosmology, which is
Oh, what's
important as many of the realms have their own infinite size statements, such as Niflheim having an endless mist, or
Niflheim.
Helheim being referred to as
Wait, Niflheim, the realm of fog, once land, you get transforming the realm into a desolate
I'm pretty
wasteland.
sure I
Endless
remember
mist.
this statement.
Endless mist.
No, that's not even right, because like when we go to Niflheim in both games, there is not an endless mist. There's actually in complete areas where the mist does not go. It does not go into the temple. It does not go like where the forge is, where Sindred is. Because it's Sindred, if I remember correctly. That's there in God of War 4. It's like it's not even infinite, even in the games. Like with the way that they depict it.
I don't even think you can fairly assess this because Niflheim is one of the realms that you don't even properly explore. You go there for like 2 seconds, and it's mostly for collectibles.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
but,
there's Helheim. The dead journey over to the River of Knives as they make their way into the Helheim proper when the realms of these illustrations
What was I
all
gonna
speak to a city whose sole purpose to arm an undead army to build a massive ship for the dead of Ragnarok. That doesn't even prove it's infinite. What?
No, it said on the left side, the endless wastes of Helheim.
Oh,
It's like,
endless
bro,
waste of Helheim.
do you think the title is intended to be a literal descriptor of the size of the realm that it's referring to?
Endless waste could just mean it has like
It just
large
stretches on
amounts of
forever.
radiation
Yeah.
within it.
I mean, like, so I was gonna say this for Niflheim. I would argue, like, for what we see, we can, because if I remember correctly from both games, there are entire sections. I'm not even talking about like on the map, like where we visit. It's also like off the map where there is no fog whatsoever. There's no mist there.
Talk about
As for
infinite mist.
Helheim,
Yeah, there are places where the mist exists, but yeah, the endless waste, that's also not true too, because there's literally portions where you can pass the bridge and the gate and go further into Helheim, and those wouldn't be considered parts of the waste. You have to argue the
Yeah.
entirety of Helheim looks like this, and that's just not true.
Mhm.
it's not true. Also, like the souls in Helheim, like when they traverse there, it's like a very short amount of souls. They're not like thousands upon thousands of souls just rushing in. It's a
Mhm.
couple hundred at a time, if I remember correctly.
Well, also, it's kind of happening during the events of God of War 4, so it's a weird situation because Draugr are flooding out of Helheim, affecting
Oh,
the
yeah.
realms,
Yes.
because the dead are coming to life. But that's neither here nor there. We can continue.
Mhm.
It's just,
Yeah.
again,
endless wasteland.
examples
But later
of
on, we learned that
hyperbole.
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
Yggdrasil
It's-
strands alone transcend time and space itself.
Why don't you
Yeah.
keep playing
Yep.
the scene and listen to what Freya says?
So
No 5D. Take it or
No
leave it.
5D. No dimensional requirements.
Yeah, so the term transcend alone does not literally prove dimensional transcendence. It only means to go beyond, e.g., at the further point of something or to surpass something. And point in case as the transcendence in this context literally just refers to life and death cycle, not literal time and space.
What she says prior to this is that she gives the example of how the Yggdrasil is supplying all life on roots by explaining that it feeds the valleys and the rivers and nourishes the soil and gives life to things, and that anything on the tree is born on the tree, dies, returns to the tree, and then is reborn through the tree. That's the whole purpose of her statement. She says transcending time and space at the very, very end. She doesn't just come out and is like, the Yggdrasil is so massive. Its strands branch out into the world, transcending time and space, breaking all geometrical limit. Like, no. She's spending the whole time yapping about how it the flourishes like their livestock and effectively their GDP. She's not talking about their universe. She's talking about like how tree like nourishes their lifestyle. Like what?
Yeah, not to mention the tree branches that quote unquote stretch out endlessly.
Oh no, we'll get to that.
I'm
We'll get to that.
assuming
He's gonna bring that up. Everybody does.
I'm assuming he's gonna bring that up. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the
We can talk about it if he brings it up. There's no point in talking about it now because if they don't yap about it, we don't need to bring it up.
Yeah.
well
Not because we can't refute it, because I can. I did a whole video refuting it.
yeah, but what I also was gonna say is I'm pretty sure the novels make it perfectly clear that the branches break off if they reach a certain length.
No, that's Ragnarok that confirms that. But anyway,
Yeah,
you can continue.
Now, transcend can mean a few things. However, the main or colloquial definition is to go beyond the limits of said thing. Now, technically, Yggdrasil just existing beyond or separate of space of the 9 realms would qualify as transcend, rather than it implying having some sort of superiority to the realms.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. He actually concedes the position that it's not even like more
Tier
powerful.
one.
Though. He just said it's probably the case that it just goes beyond the distance of it rather than having superiority. It's like, okay, so there's no argument for it like upscale. Well, I guess he's just going to argue multiversal God of War then. There's no complex multi. So I guess he's capable of reading them to some extent. But it's weird that he's using that panel because that panel also refutes the idea that they transcend space in the way that you're looking at it. Because that's from the art book of God of War 4, and that specific page that it's from is a depiction of how the artists wanted to visually bring the Yggdrasil into the world. And what they specifically said was that in the original Norse mythology, the Yggdrasil was a non-physical object, and they had to find a way to transfer it into an existing physical state in the game as an actual physical object. So they literally confirmed that the Yggdrasil is an actual just giant ass tree. It's a real physical tree. So that refutes the idea that it's transcending time and space because it's bound to geometrical mass and the laws of physics by being an existing physical object.
Yeah.
Granted, if it had feats that proved otherwise, but you're just using Freya's statement when, as we pointed out, Freya's not referring to that. She's talking about something else.
Life, death, birth, and
Well,
rebirth.
Life and
I would hate
growth.
to see this man scale FF7. I would hate to see this man scale
I
FF7.
think he has.
That'd be quite a ride.
Yeah.
Let's continue.
Dimensionality.
Tier
However,
one.
with the conjuncts of Yggdrasil in this encompassing space that holds even the notions of life, fate, and death, and that we actually do have spaces such as the
Oh my
realm
God.
between realms that are just verbatimly exist separately of the main realms. However, they don't use the
That doesn't
term
prove
transcend to
spatially
describe
separated.
it. So do this, I'm
They
more
don't,
inclined to think that
exist
context
verbatim.
to
Verbatim
transcend-
means exactly as the word says, like word for word, bar for bar, and that's not what they say.
reference to the actual superiority. With this being the case, that just these strands of Yggdrasil would be a
Nine
tier
realms,
beyond
infinite
the
ins-
already.
Oh my god. Infinite
What?
insight to average
Why would
universal.
why would the strands of the Yggdrasil be dimensionally superior to the 9 realms? I'd hate to see this guy actually read the novel. His brain
Did
was
he just not
explode.
concede that the Yggdrasil's like transcendence doesn't even mean it's truly superior? So why is he talking about the strands?
Why is he saying they're dimensional superior?
They're dimensional superior, not dimensionally superior. They're dimensional superior, which is incorrect grammar, but whatever. I get what he's trying to say, at least.
Mm-hmm.
This
Also-
what bugs me is that this is an edited video. Like this is a well edited video, and he still made that mistake.
He couldn't spell dimensionally properly.
It's like, dude, you just need like one more L, one more L and a Y, one more L for the video and a Y for why this video exists.
Just remove the mention or just put superior. You would have been more correct there.
Or just correct in general.
Yeah.
debatably infinite 9 realms, and there likely being infinite strands, as the novelization notes that Yggdrasil branches also stretch into infinity, meaning there are infinite amount of these
Stretch
strands.
to infinity, not meaning it's actually infinite.
No, hang on.
No.
Let him keep going. Let's see if he says it. Well, let's see if he shows
Which
it.
are already superior to infinite universes, which would just mean that Yggdrasil is a multiversal construct.
There we go.
Now, I know I haven't
Pause it.
talked about the
No, you're too
Since
slow.
when?
What I want to point out is this man said that the strands is stretched to infinity, ergo that there is infinite amount of strands.
That just means that the strands that are on the tree would stretch out to infinity. But let's back up a second. Let's look at that. Let's look at that source that he uses.
Yeah, this one.
So there we go. There we go. And then a little bit further.
Here.
So just like a no. Like go back. Okay, so go forward.
And the Yggdrasil would be a
Go
tier
forward to the-
beyond
to the
the already
novels.
debatably. So Yggdrasil branches also stretch into infinity, meaning there are infinite amount of these strands, which are already superior
You're
to
ready to pause
infinite
it.
universes, which would just mean that Yggdrasil is a multiversal construct.
Pause
Now,
it.
I know
Oh, hold
there are two
Oh my
infinite
God.
universes,
My
which
bad,
would just
my bad,
mean
my
that
bad.
Yggdrasil is a multi.
on. There we go.
So,
Yeah. So using his knife, Kratos pried the talisman in the form of a carved wolf's head and its socket on the door. He swung over the door to reveal a mystical gateway to a strange environment, like tree branch stretching out to infinity. So the sentence literally says, "like a tree branch stretching out to infinity,"
yes, it's just
which is a allegory.
best.
It's a metaphor that when you say like something, you are using a metaphor. It's pointing out that like a tree branch stretching out to infinity would be considered a strange environment. That's the metaphor for it. Also, Kratos is standing in the perspective of the doorway, and while it is a third-person universal, it's covering his perspective for the most part. So you would have to argue that Kratos is capable of seeing a branch stretch out to the extent of infinity from where he's standing in the door when he doesn't know anything about the Yggdrasil, and this is like one of the first few times he's used the Bifrost. This is the first time he's actually stepped into the realm between realms, and he doesn't know anything about this place at all. So it doesn't make sense for him to be claiming this, or for the narrator to be claiming this at all. Again, I would
Let's just
love
be
for this
honest,
guy to like just read Percy Jackson for like 5 seconds, and I'll show him like an example of what the Duat or like chaos looks like when they're actually depicting something being infinite. But hey, there are plenty of other statements and times in Percy Jackson where they state something as like endless or infinite in relation to like, I don't know, the streets of Manhattan. You know, maybe I can argue the streets of Manhattan actually have a high 3A space inside of them because the author decided to use a specific choice of words. You see how like disingenuous that would be for me? Like, just because like what? I want Percy to be able to like punch fucking Goku or something? Like what?
Hello, Retro. What I missed. We're just going over Crafty's Dante versus Doomslayer versus Kratos video.
Yeah, it's also confirmed in as Plastic had mentioned earlier that the branches get too heavy in Ragnarok. So Ratatosker mentions, because he is the squirrel that tends the branches, that if the branches get too weighty, they'll basically shake and the realms will fall off them. So they have to be trimmed.
Mm-hmm.
So the branches are always constantly being maintained at a reasonable length. They can also potentially fall off of the tree, causing the realms itself to be endangered. So yeah, if they have to be cut to affect the mass of the tree itself is not infinite. If it was infinite, then you wouldn't be capable of managing the mass at all.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you mean
If
you're
we're
trying to
assuming-
cut off infinite from an infinite mass.
Unless we're just going to conclude that like, oh well, no, like the infinite is referring to the base of the tree, but not the branches. But then that defeats your argument because you're arguing the branches are infinite. And now you'd have to prove you specifically have to prove a specific claim, which is that the base bulk of the tree is infinite. There's an infinite number of branches, but each of the branches themselves are finite, and they'll eventually stretch out to infinity, but they can be managed. Which, holy fuck, you have to extrapolate all of that from this one sentence in the context I just said with no evidence other than just that sentence. When
I mean,
I
isn't,
simply
like,
just said
don't we
it's
see the
easier to
base?
explain it being a metaphor. We never see the base.
Oh,
We never
no,
see
we
the
see the
base.
well.
We never see like
We see the well.
no. So Nihog gets transported into Vanaheim. You never see Nihog in the realm between realms.
Yeah.
You fight
Yeah.
Nihog in Vanaheim.
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking of the
And
well because people use the
also
well.
the stags, because the stags are basically gathered up after you kill Nihog, because they have to basically manage the growth of the tree, because if the tree grows too big, that'll also cause the realms to fall off the branches.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's continue.
yeah.
Universal construct. Now, I know I haven't talked about the Light of Alfheim yet, but that's
The
because I
Light of
think it's a
Alfheim.
greater expanse to the overall cosmology, which I'll get to later. Firstly, I'd like to
What?
establish how Kratos even scales to Yggdrasil. Just the clashes between Thor and Jormungandr.
Soon after Thor attacking, their battle could be felt across all the realms, and so they go on the battle of Ragnarok. Their clash so violently it shakes the tree of life that it's.
This is like 2016 God of War. No, not 2016. This is like 2019 God of War scaling metas. Okay, I hate to burst your bubble. This is a prophecy that is referring to what is going to happen in the future. And to be clear, we're there during the events of Ragnarok. We see them fight each other. And all that happens is that like Thor fights him for a little bit, bumps him in the head, and then he just disappears. And then everybody's like, "Oh, I guess Thor BFR'd him back through time." And then later Bruno was like, "No, actually, he bumped him, and then the back of Jormungandr hits a realm gate, and he got sent back in time as a result of breaking the realm gate." There was no like shaking of the 9 realms. In fact, the only statement that refers to the 9 realms being shaked is specifically from Ragnarok himself, basically blowing up Asgard.
Yeah.
Not Thor fighting Jormungandr. So
once again, the Norns were wrong.
the Nords were wrong about the scope of this. Again. Well, it was not specifically the Norns. I believe it was the Giants, because the Giants had multitudes of different prophecies.
Yeah.
They had like a general. It's explained in the games that they have a general idea of how things are going to go, but like specific events can be changed, but big things typically won't.
Mm-hmm.
So what you would argue is the specific details are that something was going to happen to the 9 realms that would affect all of it drastically. There was going to be a big fight, and somebody could affect them. You would just argue that like there would be destruction, possibly death, and various things would happen to the realms, maybe even the destruction of the realm, and that's all we can prove. Who's doing it is completely anyone's guess, and the Giants are the reliable narrator. Sure enough, Ragnarok comes along, Thor dies during Ragnarok, gets killed by Odin instead of Jormungandr. Jormungandr gets sent back in time, not because of Thor, but because he just gets punched through a realm gate, and Asgard gets obliterated, not specifically because of like anything regarding like just Sutter normally. It's because Sutter becomes Ragnarok, and because Asgard gets blown into like a bunch of other pieces, and that's what shakes the realm. So that's a massive change for what Mimir says.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, we can continue.
Are so violent that it not only shook the 9 realms, but also splintered the world tree. This not only implies that it had a great effect over Yggdrasil, but if you actually look up what a splinter tree looks like, you'll see it's pretty much just blew a hole through it.
Okay, so fuck TG&K and Kratos for this position, because they've or TG&K and Seth the programmer for arguing this position, because they lied out their ass. There has never been any evidence that the world tree was splintered, but even if it was, that wouldn't even be uni or multi or anything like that, because it's just larger than a country at best.
As far as I'm aware, that's not even how splintering a tree works. You don't destroy a tree like that and say you splintered it.
That's not even a splinter tree.
I guess what they what they did was that they just looked up splintered tree on Google and just looked at the images, and they're like, okay, this is what that meant. Yeah, and then that's basically the level of argumentation we're dealing with here, is effectively just a 10-second attempt into Google searching things.
But this isn't a splinter tree.
Yeah.
So first of all,
this is a demolished tree.
First of all, when it comes to that statement, again, that never happens. The world tree is never splintered. We are there during the events of Ragnarok. We see during the events of Ragnarok. Ratatoskr is the one that talks to us about it, because Ratatoskr is the one tending the tree. He's the only credible source that can tell you about what's happening to the tree. And he just specifically says that Ragnarok's clashing or destruction of Asgard shook the World Tree to its roots. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He shook it. So to be fair, like his explosion was able to affect it, but like I would imagine so because he blew up an entire realm on one of its branches. And also the pieces of Asgard fell into all the other realms. Mm-hmm. So that directly disproves that they're dimensionally separated by space and time. Because, you know, physical shards of like the mountains and the houses and things literally went flying and landed in the other realms. Something that wouldn't be happening if they were, you know.
I'm fairly certain that like we literally see, like, or not even see, but like from what we're told, Thor is just casually capable of like just going either through a realm gate or through other means to Jotunheim to kill the giants, and then like any giant that's left over in the mortal realm is still there. They could just walk in and out through like any realm gate. So like, why would they be spatially and temporally separated? It makes no sense.
Immeasurable speed.
Well, the only thing they're separated by is the light of Alfheim, which we've explained will cause you to go mad or will basically incinerate you. So the specific no, it incinerates you. Like it's a wall of burning light. So yeah, if you're wondering why people don't cross the realms, it's because they don't want to fucking die. It has nothing to do with them being physically separate. This is like saying that, like, you know, we're separated by space and time because there's a giant wall of flame between my country and your country. It's like, well, shit. I mean, I guess we are separated by space and time.
If I ever want to play Mortal Fire, water can cross across all the realms, kind of. But anyways,
did I just hear about the
Yozakura was saying something about the primordial fire.
I have no idea what it's talking about, but yeah, that's that. Didn't. The point is that the tree was never splintered. It never happened. Mm-hmm. That's not what happened.
Yozakura is talking about the primordial, the first two primordials within the Norse pantheon, the primordial fire and primordial water, and how they mix together. That's
Ymir, like Ymir and Suitor.
Yes, yes, that's just for the space. Yes, that's just for the space.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
And of course, Kratos can scale if not outright superior to Thor in their final confrontation, and Kratos can pretty consistently fight people who also scale to Yggdrasil, such as Surtur.
Hold up a minute. I distinctively remember in the first encounter, he got bonked, died, and then got defibrillated back from the game over screen. Yeah, you could argue he got stronger by the end of the game, but like, they make it a point that the only way he's actually able to hurt Kratos is with the rage of like Sparta. And Thor points out like that's the rage of Sparta.
No, because you said hurt Kratos.
You said hurt Kratos.
Oh no, hurt Thor. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Kratos can only hurt Thor with the rage of Sparta, and when he punches Thor with it after he gets really angry, he's like, "Oh, there's the god of war." Mm-hmm. So it implies like Kratos only returns to his base strength when he gets extremely angry and bloodlusted, which is only in that form. And that's what he needs to fight Thor at the end of the game. So you would argue they're just relative to each other. Kratos is just a better fighter, and he's also physically in shape because, well, he's basically dealing with a part-time alcoholic who's mostly a retired defender of the rings. Because let's be honest, Thor is on a very, 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 very bad day.
Yeah.
The game makes it very clear that he is like extremely depressed.
Yeah.
He's not in the right state of mind. So and even then Kratos literally says like, this guy hit me and his blows are as heavy as the heaviest ones I felt. Mm-hmm. Which you can interpret to some really stupid extent. Kratos does not have such statements in his fight with Thor.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember Thor killing Kratos in the dragon shit after. Yeah, he does.
Yes. It also doesn't help that like everybody besides Baldur and Odin fears Thor, and they make it perfectly clear that Thor has been physically like weaker since after he has killed the giants in Jotunheim.
Yeah, mostly because the game implies he's depressed after trying to massacre them all, because he just did not want to kill them all. And by the end of the game, it pretty much confirms it because he's sick and tired of being Odin's puppet. He wants to make his own choices for his own decisions, and that's why he turned to drinking, because he just couldn't handle wiping out everybody. Because
even
Odin told
before
him to
that,
do it.
that's what I'm trying to say. Like even before that, Ymir, when Ymir talks about Thor, it's basically just him always drinking. Especially like when he goes out to kill the giants. Even when he's not done killing all the giants, when he's done killing one of the specific giants, the son of one of the specific giants that was made from rocks. Like to make it perfectly clear, he's just straight drunk, and that's primarily the reason why he killed them. Like this man is very clearly weakened since 2018, 2019.
It's also implied he's a little bit poisoned because
Yes.
one of the
Kratos'
wounds
axe.
on his body is still there
It doesn't
by
go,
the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's also due to the Leviathan axe having poison in it.
Yeah, when
That's-
you're
that's
getting
another
that
topic.
out.
So yeah, that's just correcting that piece of information. But Thor doesn't scale to the Yggdrasil, so this doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
None of them do.
He's trying to scale the Socha right now. That's the funniest thing.
No one scales a Surtur.
Why does he even bring this up? Like it's like, oh, well, it's going to happen in the future. We saw Ragnarok. It didn't happen at Ragnarok.
I'm pretty sure the Norns even, or the Giants, or I don't remember who, but they outright state they don't actually make fate. They just go off of the actions.
No, they just predict what people are going to do based on the way that they act.
Yeah.
And then Freya's just like, well, you told me my son would die. It's like, you told me my son would die based on what you did. It's like, yeah, because you don't change. Because you don't fundamentally change and you do exactly what we would expect you to do.
Yeah. Anyways, let's continue.
Who can destroy whole ass branches of it, as well as Nidhogg, who maintains Yggdrasil by eating it. Overall, this would mean Kratos, even in the Norse saga, would have this multiversal attack potency. Now, this isn't to spike any Greek versus Norse Kratos debate, so for the sake of the integrity of the video, just assume whatever your favorite Kratos is at this level, and I can guarantee you, whichever you think, they're not that far from each other anyway. However, as I established, there's still a higher end for the cosmology as a whole.
What is this haggling?
It's a haggling process again.
We started at a high uni, got to low multi off of nothing, then got up to multiversal while denying the idea that there could be a higher dimensional cosmology, and then accepting that there's actually a higher dimensional cosmology and more arguments that can be made. It's like, bro,
What's even going on? He can't stay consistent in his
I'd
own
love to live in this man's universe with this level of delusional nonsense, to this level of evidence that it takes to substantiate people's positions.
Oh, here it comes with the unquantifiable level.
No
Kratos.
justification. Just utter woke nonsense.
Essentially.
We can continue.
Scales to Hope Kratos, which
Hope
regardless
Kratos.
of which Kratos you think is stronger, Hope Kratos is just objectively the strongest version and character in the story, at least of the time of the recording.
He's not the
The
strongest
start of the
character in the
meta
story.
comes from the Light of Alfheim. Said light in the novelization is stated to transcend all things in the realms.
Transcend all that
Yeah.
existed.
It transcends all that exists in the realm, because in the room where they're standing, it's literally above them. It's at the top of the ceiling. This is literally like when Freya's giving her explanation, or is about to give it. So they're looking at it all.
Oof, we're barely into the bit. Oh, just the amount of stuff we've had to say for 6 minutes.
10. Yeah, almost 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Let's continue.
Which would include Yggdrasil, as it
Maybe the
does
most
exist
egregious
within
section.
inside the
He's talking including Yggdrasil, so there's even a higher dimension.
realms to an extent. However, a more damning piece of evidence comes from what we're given in verse. Yggdrasil, as per its introduction, encompasses said notions of life and death. Funny enough, it stated that the Light of Alfheim transcends life and death itself, showing that the Light of Alfheim is beyond the likes of Yggdrasil, as it's directly beyond the thing that Yggdrasil is bounded by. This only makes it consistent.
What? What? You just admitted it's bound by... Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There's no evidence for that, and that's not inferred in the statement. So the statement says the river of souls transcending life and death. It's like, yes, because a river of souls would be beyond life and death as you understand it. Life would constitute the biological functions of your physical body. Death would involve the necrosis and rigor mortis of your corpse after life has left it. So yes, a river of souls would be defined as a transcendental place beyond that, because it is life after death.
Just read the bottom sentence.
I don't know how or why that needs to be higher dimensional and not just a state of cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he's taking the scribblings of a madman. There has no objective value to it beyond this.
Also, this is another piece of evidence that you use alongside Tyr's statement that the light just makes you mad, because even this is narrated by Atreus, because Atreus is reading what some guy said about the light of Alfheim after he made a scribbling on it, after he came into contact with it, and it drove him insane.
Yeah.
So, like, why are you using this as an example? And even then, the example that I provided is perfectly legitimate. It is the interpretation you're supposed to take. There's nothing implying the dimension or the space or the time or any superiority between the existing spaces, which was what you need. There's no relationship going on there. It's just causality. It's talking about the state of things.
Yeah. Wait, audio cut out?
Oh.
Oh, that's weird. Hold on.
Whatever.
No,
Nothing else to say on that.
stream audio.
I'm gonna go get water. Continue onwards.
Okay, there we go. It's back.
Oh,
Anyways, let's continue.
Transcends life and death itself, showing that the light of Alfheim is beyond the likes of Yggdrasil, as it's directly beyond the thing that Yggdrasil is bounded by. This only makes it consistent as Odin expresses that Kratos being able to survive said light is an impossible task, while him fully knowing there are beings who are able to affect Yggdrasil. Again, this goes back to Hope, as Hope Kratos is beyond the likes.
How did Kratos even survive the light of Alfheim again?
It's never really explained. He just kind of goes inside of it. Although his face is being burnt by coming into contact with it, and he's in a horrible amount of agony.
Mm-hmm.
And the point is that basically, so here's the problem with the light of Alfheim is that we're told is that you will be incinerated, and that how can you touch the light of Alfheim? And it's well, and yet you're here, but still of sound mind and not incinerated, which implies that happens to most people. So the problem is that Kratos still confirms the light is pretty fucking hot, because when he touches it, he's getting burned. And when he goes inside of it, he's just trapped in there for a few seconds and he's just wandering. But when he comes out, due to the dilation of time within the space, it's been only a few minutes for him, but for Atreus, it's been a day and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So most people end up, the reason most people die when they go to the light of Alfheim, or the reason they're driven mad, is because they're just wandering in there looking for the ones, and they're driven mad by the voices of them. It's not that the light of Alfheim itself causes you to go insane. It puts you in an environment that tempts your mind to do certain things, and then most people with their will are not capable of handling their loved ones calling out from them from the afterlife, and that just kind of messes with them.
Mm-hmm. So Atreus single-handedly saved Kratos from dying.
He did. He saved him from dying, or saved him from going mad again for the fifth time,
which he always does in basically every game.
He always does in every game without someone actually causing madness to him. He just goes mad because he's really upset about his life circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is typically how people go mad anyway. So that's not even bad writing, but
yeah,
whatever.
Anyways,
to ascended Athena. We've said Athena upon her death went to a higher plane of existence, with the game director explaining she not only ascended.
Yeah, the higher plane of existence, which we're now going to get explanations about in God of War Laughery, so you might want to hold off on that, Mr. Crafty Skills, because you're about to get a very not crafty skill from that God of War Laughery game.
Oh, and there's this statement.
A very unfortunate downgrade.
Yeah. When Athena died, she was the first.
That's just existence at best. Not even AP nor DC, let alone durability.
Mm-hmm.
You have to die.
Set Athena was, if you're going to go by it, was unable to basically interact with fucking anything in the Pantheon.
Yeah.
Except for stuff that had her powers. So it's honestly, I'm gonna be for real. it doesn't even matter if that space is an actual higher dimension, because Athena in this thing is clearly just a fucking projection. She's clearly some kind of like astral projection of
Yeah,
something,
she doesn't.
and she's not really like, she doesn't have a physical body. So like, you're not really gonna get feats. You don't really get feats from her. She just floats into a room, talks to Kratos for 5 seconds, and then just leaves. She never talks about the dimensional plane or that it brought me to a higher existence. And they didn't even create such a place at the time when they made this line. They didn't talk about it in the Norse games. And then Laufey just came along and like, well, what if we explained where the gods went? And I'm like, nobody asked for this, but okay.
But okay.
I guess we're getting an answer to that. So you probably shouldn't be using this piece of information before we're about to get like a whole ass game about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's people who argue that Power of Hell Kratos could have killed her.
There's no evidence of that. Like, again, I don't even think that's the actual Athena. I'm pretty sure that's just her projecting her consciousness onto the fucking Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Because if what we take from Laufey is true, which it would be, there's no reason to believe otherwise. Like, it's clearly the start of the game. People who get sent to Laufey are like, you are transported in a completely different from the gate. Like, you're dead. You're not going back to the physical realm. So for all intents and purposes, unless she finds some way to escape, which they're not going to have her do because she's dead during God of War 4 and Ragnarok, she's probably going to find a way to project her consciousness. That's most likely the reason we're going to see her in the light of Alpine during God of War 4. It's probably just going to be her attempting to talk to Kratos when he's in Alpine. So I granted, that's speculation on my part, but the difference is that my assertions are supported by direct evidence that I can prove with direct statements that back it up in the lore. This guy is just using one sentence and then using Cory Barlog's statements. All we know is that she specifically like went to that place because of her sacrifice, and that there is a place she went to. That's
a stupid
it.
sacrifice.
A dumb sacrifice to save a worthless idiot. Not sure.
To the highest power, bows above all the gods and the pantheons, and one true god. Again, very similar to the light of Alpine. Both are on this completely unbounded by death and at the highest quote-unquote power within their verse, with the actual ascended realm just being a force greater.
It's not unbounded by death in the way that you're saying, though. It's just life after death. It's a river of souls. Also, we know that gods now... When gods die, they now just go to the afterlife. So that statement from Athena has effectively been retconned. Because everybody fucking goes there now, apparently. Yeah. So it doesn't even matter if you're a prick or like a saint. You're going there.
Being a god doesn't mean anything.
Well, I guess it does, because you get a different afterlife.
Yeah, true. But yeah.
I was gonna say, it's basically Frankenstein. Life beyond death.
Yeah. Undead. So.
This man would shit himself on Dark Souls 3.
I think anyone would.
Let me.
All right.
Due to the director's statements, which is pretty consistent, as the Norse saga establishes while the Greek pantheon and Norse pantheon are similar in their physicality and magic. However, the Greek sagas has the edge when it comes to this. In this case, we have the highest power that's beyond the physical aspect of the realms of this more metaphysical abstract, in the sense of there being an entity, why the Greeks literally have a person on that level, similar but giving the Greeks
is this
edge.
Video written by like an AI script? Like, why does he just keep throwing in big words like abstract and metaphysical like right next to each other, but then they don't make sense in the conjunction of the sentence itself? It feels like what he's trying to describe is not being given, one, the necessary scans and evidence to support it, and two, they're just being compacted together to make it sound like there's a unique amount of meaning, when in reality he's just yapping. There's nothing there. He's said the same thing. He's like, well, they're metaphysical and abstract, and there's a being that resides over it. It's like, yeah, bro, you said that like 5 sentences ago, and you said that thing 5 sentences before the previous 5 sentences that you talked about this, and the one before that. Like, you haven't introduced new information, and the information you produced the first time wasn't even like sufficient.
This honestly might just be AI now that I think about it. It's like that guy Devil was talking to on Facebook. He just kept repeating the same point over and over again.
Well, a lot of people,
PNC is
you might be surprised the amount of people on the internet that are actually just bots. Granted, a lot of them are controlled by a person, so they might actually just be like one really angry person that just can't take it and would rather use a few bots. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with using AI. I'm just saying that this doesn't look very authentic, is what I'm saying. It doesn't look like a very good job. It definitely feels like you did not put a lot of effort into it, despite the script, but despite the editing of the video, which I think is good.
Mm-hmm. Other than that,
not a lot of
dimensionally spelled wrong.
Yeah, that too.
Meaning that Hope Kratos will just be another metaphysical tier of some sorts beyond this already multiversal cosmology of God of War.
What? What? Huh?
Wait, potentially multiversal? Wait, hold up a minute.
Meaning that Hope Kratos would just be another metaphysical tier of some sorts beyond this already.
Wait, go ahead, Ryan.
So, did this man really went from claiming multiversal based off very little receipts shown to, and I quote, potentially multiversal?
I think this might be the first time I've seen someone wank God of War so hard, attempt to please them and haggle them to appease the God of War 3 and God of War 4 fans, to prevent them from fighting each other, to get them on the same boat, to kind of backing off the position at the end while trying to argue metaphysical jargon to please the power scalers, so they feel like they've had their Kratos jerked off enough. Like, this is got like the weirdest like circle jerking I've ever seen, where he's just trying to please absolutely everybody with as many buzzwords as he can.
I mean, what I would like to know is if this is all on one timeline when you edited this, or if this is like multiple different pieces, like you broke up and then you edited.
Were there different people involved in this editing process? Like, how did this come about? Did you throw this into like a machine and then it just came out as a completely different product when it was pooped out at the end?
Yeah.
You were talking about the editing. I don't actually think this is well edited, because like I feel like there's certain sections that should go before other sections.
This section just seemed like a little confusing.
Yeah, but also like previously as well. It's like, I think what this man did was he recorded a bunch of lines and then went to go get the footage of them. And then in the process of editing this, whoever edited this, if it was himself or someone else, fucked up the timeline because he just recorded it all out of order.
Yeah.
Maybe. Either way, it's incredibly strange for him to do that. He basically just conceded his entire point. Not that he had a point to begin with, or evidence to begin with, but if he did, it was conceded the moment he said potentially multiversal. It's like, okay, so your ground is now shaky. And also, hang on, if I'm a Kratos fan, you just give me all that wank just to tell me that like it's only potentially multiversal, bro. I was here for the writing. Like, what do you
minimum multiversal?
Well, what do you mean? I'm not getting multiversal.
Anyway, no, he's gonna.
I've never actually been left wanting Kratos wank before. This is a new feeling. I feel cheated.
Now he mentions Dante.
Already multiversal cosmology of God of War. In the beginning, there was only darkness. Then on one day, a demon with black horns emerged from that darkness and separated the light from the dark. The two realms that came from that separation was the human world and the demon.
No!
Great.
You don't start at the fucking primordial existence.
Guys, people in
you
the
start
chat.
at the quiet pod.
I want y'all to answer this question. Which building should I jump off of?
Earth. Fucking
I mean, I don't think it particularly matters that much, but it is weird.
Put the answer in the chat
section at the beginning.
Which building should I jump off of?
Why does he have Makai?
No.
That's only in the Netflix.
Makai.
He's fucking
Holy
stupid.
LARPing.
He's specifically, I think he's specifically trying to translate them from the raw, but like just use the official translation. You nimwit. That's what it's there for. The official translation is what states it's the primordial chaos,
But
the primordial
the, the
existence.
the reason why I say this, Wrangler, is because every single time Crafty touches DMC scaling, he brings up the Qyphot last. You start at the Qyphot for what it created, and then if you're gonna mention it later on, it's for very specific details. And then he basically he doesn't talk about what the darkness is. He's gonna skip over what the darkness is. I knew I was gonna have a fucking headache.
Retroset
Let's
Empire
continue.
State plastic.
Empire State.
You need to raise your standards. Which for
The
us
Black Horn
means like
Demon
the
would go
tallest
down.
possible building in the U.S.
Just find whatever it is. Make sure.
Just fall off of Mount Olympus.
Oh, he's talking about Pluto now. Hold up.
History as the first Demon King, as it's noted that this demon known as Pluto was the one that did this separation, which is only further confirmed by DMC Peak of Combat and with its in-lore codex. With the theatrical
Wait a minute. You absolute fucking disingenuous rat. This man 2 videos ago that like we reacted to was saying you can't use POC. You can't use POC. Now he's fucking using POC.
Now he's using POC.
This man doesn't make his own scales. It's just confirmed.
Himself,
He makes 0 attempts at scaling. These are not his skills. This basically is all I need at this point. Not even
out of the way, essentially Pluto created a DMC cosmology by physically splitting the original universe. This is
Cosmology. No, he did not. He just separated them.
A plant did, to be more accurate.
Unless he's
not a dude
unless he's
with a
fucking
spear.
dyslexic and trying to imply that separation is creation.
It's like if he separated them, that means they existed before he separated them. Something else created them. Something that's stated to have created all life.
Dino
I
saying
don't know
POC
what-
got
I don't know what
debunked as
that could be.
non-canon. Okay, bro. Okay, bro.
It got debunked as non-canon, even though it's constantly still getting expansions. It's referred to as the official mobile game. It upholds the same worldview. It's licensed by Capcom, and it's still continuing as today. So no, it's never been non-canon. Never will be
stupid
non-canon.
An Orthodox sequel literally uses DMZ characters.
Name me a single franchise that has a statement for any of its sequels or material being considered an orthodoxical sequel that maintains the worldview of the series.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't, and if by that logic, all material from like all series is effectively non-canon because they don't actually go out of their way to explain that.
Like franchises put even less effort into trying to say something's canon in such a manner.
Effort as in like negative to no effort. No series goes out of its way to say something is canon. What they will tell you is if something is non-canon. That is very different, and that doesn't even happen
depends.
ever. Like that's like very, very rare. Even then.
Well, no, there's some franchises like Fate Stay Night that have to talk about the games that like the creator.
No. So what? Even in the examples that you're referring to, they'll never talk about whether or not something's canon. They'll talk about whether it's non-canon. Like yes, they might mention that something is part of the story, but they'll never use the word canon to describe it unless they're a Westerner, because that term isn't really in the Japanese language. It didn't exist. It was created by the Catholic Church to describe how like certain religious books should keep their stories in order. Yeah. It doesn't exist in the Japanese language.
You're gonna be surprised. It's from the Japanese branch. It's not from the EN branch. Yes.
But anyway, we can continue.
Crazy for many reasons, as the Demon World is noted within DMC 1 and 3 to have an either endless sea or being described as an endless void, which maybe you can argue is hyperbolic, which just based off that I can understand. But this idea of the Demon
Hold up a minute. Wait a minute. So that's hyperbolic.
So
For
I
God of
mean,
War.
that's hyperbolic, but the place that's underneath. I love how he didn't even entertain that. The
Why
place that's
would you
underneath the
find
planet is that.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you try and quote unquote maybe argue that the scan in question is hyperbolic? But
Wouldn't you just genuinely argue it's hyperbolic? Why would you even entertain the idea that it's a possibility? It either is or it isn't.
Yeah.
There's no in between. There's no. What is this haggling? Like, what is with people being like cowards about their position? Stop trying to please everybody.
Exactly.
Stop using
This is
AI for your videos.
I don't think this is haggling. What I do is haggling.
being
This is something
retarded.
beyond.
just
This is just LARPing.
Yes, so this is just a double. This is a massive double standard. Like, no, God of War. We apply the same standard of God of War that we do at the DMC. What we'll tell you, and what DMC tells you, is that there are descriptions and statements in DMC3 that when you go to DMC3, the various realms, the various dimensions are separated by time-space portals. So those statements would be referring to areas in the demon world. It wouldn't be referring to the holding world. It would be referring to specific dimensions in the demon world. So the overall structure of the demon world would be even larger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas your statement is just referring to the underworld.
Exactly.
A place that is in the earth. I mean, on the worst part is that on the very panel that he provided at the beginning, it's literally explaining, at the beginning of the manga, is literally explaining how the universe came into existence. It's a whole cosmological event where it's like, oh, this is why you have to use the official. No, this is why you have to use the official translation.
Yeah.
And this is why they don't use the official translation. You only ever see this on channels that are actively attempting to scale DMC, that aren't trying to please everybody, because they realize when they see that, you can't argue against it, because it just says the world is born in darkness, unending darkness, a crucible of chaos. But even to that primordial existence, there came a ray of light. And the universe was eventually split in two. The light became the domain of the darkness became the realm of the demons, and the light became the realm of the worlds. And these two worlds exist together for what seemed like an eternity. That is the exact statement, word for word, verbatim. You cannot argue that endless statement in that context is not like Iuni or hyperbolic, because it is referring to the universe and the cosmology coming into existence. Yours is referring to some random place underneath the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
Realm being actually infinite gets backed up as in DMC 1 Volume 2 novelization notes that the demon realm houses an infinite amount of demons, which is again consistent as in DMC 2's strategy guide. It notes that the existence of infinite amount of homunculus class demons, and for some reason we think that all this is just hyperbolic.
That wouldn't have anything to do with the human world, though. There would be a demon world thing. Like, why did you bring up the human world being evidence? That's not evidence for the human world being. I mean, yeah, that's good evidence for there being an infinite number of technically an infinite number of dimensions in the demon world, because the demons aren't located in one space. They're scattered all around the demon world. So you kind of have to have a countless number of dimensions, well, an infinite dimensions. Because if I have an infinite number of objects, I need an infinite number of spaces, or one infinite size space.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that either way, you get infinite, or you get one infinite size space, multiple infinite size spaces. The human world doesn't have anything to do with that. Why are we even bringing up the human world?
Yeah, exactly.
This is kind of stupid.
For flowery warding, we just have outright confirmation in the DMC3 Perfect Capture Guide that the underworld is infinite, with the exact quote being roughly the endless ceaseless hell of infinity, the underworld. Pretty much just a mental statement. This just makes the endless...
What? Bro, you have a statement on the official DMC5 website right now that states when you train in the void, you train in the infinite abyss, which is referring to the same abyss mentioned on the description for the astronomical board from DMC3.
Like, Faust, I made a video that POC scans are not canon. Oh, great. Whatever. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, it is kind of dumb. Kratos made a video that the POC scans are not canon. No. That was in reference to scans from the 1.0 version of the build. And he didn't specifically say they weren't canon. What he said was that we couldn't access the build, and that is correct. That has nothing to do with POC as a story or as like a concept, and that's not the version of POC that is out.
Yeah.
POC's 1.0 existed in like before 2022. We've had this POC for like 2.5 or so years.
Yeah.
At this point, this is 2.0. Like we.
Build.
And I was just talking about the 90 souls.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with like POC being like or being involved in the events.
Dino?
That's Dino, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was Kaiden for a minute.
No, that's not Kaiden.
Yeah.
Kaiden doesn't change his name.
I mean, they're living in your head.
They're all the same to me.
Yeah.
Bunch of retards.
We can continue.
Yeah.
Of Infinity, the underworld. Pretty much just a blatant statement. This just makes the endless statements more consistent for the literal definition, as due to the plethora of objective infinite statements, be it the actual size of the realm or the amount of inhabitants. And just the cherry on top, there exists a subdimension known as the abyss or the void that exists either within the demon realm or
so why mention that it's hyperbolic? Just present all the evidence it's infinite and move on.
It's not an interpretation. You wouldn't like if you wanted to address hyperbolic things that would come either at the very beginning before you started it or at the very end after you've addressed it. Also, you're incorrect there. Like it's in reference to the void specifically. The abyss would be a completely different location. But if you want to treat them as the same, again, why didn't you bring this up when you were talking about the void earlier?
Yeah.
Because the astronomical board. So the astronomical board is definitive evidence of a specific location in the demon world. Because the astronomical board is made by the disciples of the demon clan, which were the people that built the Timnagru. They built everything in the tower that functions with the tower. And what it says is that it's a board that displays the endless void. That indicates that they built this thing after they used the tower to go into the demon world. They found the void and they came back and made a device based on their experience looking at the void.
Which was infinite.
Like what else would you?
What else do you need?
Like, bro, the very context of what the statement is referring to is actually more important than the endless statement itself. That's actually just as you put it, the cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb.
Let's continue.
Somewhere in the cosmology, depending on the translation. This realm is again reintroduced in DMC5. This being important as the official website just stated.
I was just referring to the scan you used like 5 minutes ago, but okay.
It says, in fact,
somewhere in the cosmology.
Overall, this means Pluto was essentially
in the demon world.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to create two infinitely sized universes from what's implied to be a very casual thing.
Didn't create them; he separated them. But okay.
You can potentially argue three.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue how large.
Wait, he's about to mention three. Where's the third one? Because if he's not going to talk about the gray zone, I don't care.
He'll explain it. Explain it.
It's not only the human world, which is just the other half of the demon realm, which is noted in a lot of materials to be the mirror dimension of some sorts to the demon world, which could mean that even the human realm is infinite in size, or easily making Pluto or the DMC cosmology in that low multiversal range. This is important as the young...
It views the human world as a ray of light. No, he's using this.
Nah.
Off amped moon.
Wait, this isn't his skill. I know whose skill this is.
Whose is it?
This is Flames.
No shot, this is Flames.
Fuck, are you gonna rip off Flames' skill, shit talk, and then fucking leave him hanging without debating him when he asks you to debate?
That's embarrassing.
This is a fucking Frankenstein of both Flame skill and unoriginals.
If you're
hang on. To be fair,
them.
Wait. To give him credit, Flame isn't the only person he's ripped off. He's also ripped off all the other God of War scalers because he did technically take all of their arguments, and they're just as terrible as I remember. So
Of course.
although except for that one argument where he argued it was potentially multiversal, I've never actually heard that from a God of War fan. They've never conceded anything to me willingly. They always run away before the concession happens because they're too much of a bitch to face me directly.
The only reason why I've specifically mentioned Flame is because Flame has been trying to get Crafty to debate him or even just talk to him in any manner for the past year and a half. And this man is just consistently ran at like
I heard he had wanted to debate him, but that is really funny if he was actually using some of the scans that Flame used, the specific work that he did. I don't know why you would use this one in particular. That's not even relevant to I mean, it's relevant to Pluto's lore, but it's not even relevant to like the scaling for Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a bad job representing DMC, typically, because people just can't read or don't want to read.
Let's see what he says next.
Mundus was able to usurp and kill Pluto, and if you think this is just some chain scaling consistency and nothing else can back it up within verse, Mundus, when just flapping his wings, can create a vast space, which is noted in the Precious Tears guide to not be a vast universe he created, but one that's expanding infinitely, meaning even
beyond human comprehension.
Yes, we're gonna quote it correctly.
Unleashing the magic power from yeah.
guide to not be a vast universe he created, but one that's expanding infinite.
It's not the infinitely expanding dark sky. It's just the infinite sky. I don't know where. So the infinitely dark sky comes from a VSB version of the translation. If you actually machine translate it, it just tells you Dante kicked his wings and then kicked off his legs and sprouted his wings to fly up into the infinite dark sky. So that's directly what's mentioning. Yeah, unleashing his magical power from his profound body, basically.
Yeah.
What translator does BSBW even use?
They use a couple different ones. They have a couple different people that can translate it directly because they refuse to use like machine translations because they think people can like fake them or whatever. And I'm like, that it's not really what's happening. I just put it into Google Translate or DeepL or several different translators, and then I put them through different versions of the English and European ones to corroborate them because it's more reliable than using an actual person, since a person can lie about the context of what they're
just
creating synonyms for.
Just use DeepL or OpenL or anything like that.
DeepL, Google Translate. There's several different other examples. The only times you have a problem is when like the sentence itself is very like it's very much the sentence itself is machine constructed in that it's not properly the Japanese isn't presented effectively on the actual page, because sometimes things are done a lot more consistently where you can like actually translate them without it being broken, but that largely depends on like how you're grabbing the text.
Yes, I was also gonna say like it's funny you mentioned that because like didn't they literally like try to argue which scan was it from DMC? Was it the primordial existence scan?
They argued several things were wrong, but this was one of many of them where they did the same thing with one of Argus Axis scans from the DMC2 Lucia guide. They actually twisted and changed several of the kanji in the actual sentence, and they replaced them with separate kanji. This is typically what a person will do when they attempt to translate something. They will actually either take the kanji itself and then put in a synonym for something, or put in separate words instead of quote-unquote translating something as is, because the thing about words in a language is that you just have to put in what they mean. But because words can sometimes have multiple meanings, if a person is translating it and they don't think it works, they'll just switch the words out. That's why you can't rely on humans to do a proper translation in most cases, unless they're just committing their own words. Not really. Well, aside from English, I'd say, because English is more maneuverable and English is far more mechanical and expressive than any other language.
Yeah.
So I trust those translations a lot more than things that go into English as the final language than things that start in Japanese that then have to be translated into English. Anyway, we can continue.
Yep.
meaning even a
This is-
casual Mundus is already demonstrating potentially high universal power, which would back up that low multiversal range as even a young
Oh my
prince.
God.
Potentially.
Again with the potentially, as you stated, Ryan.
Wait, why is
Potentially
he?
this, potentially that.
Why is he
Motherfuckers are
potentially
just-
high uni if he's like there's bigger
Infinite.
feats? I don't know. No, high
Oh,
uni is
also-
infinite, but
Yeah.
no, I meant he mentioned earlier
Yeah.
that
I
the
would-
More so,
low multi-
more so
Why
gonna
would
point
he
out was,
even?
go ahead.
Why would he even refer to it as a potential feat if he's literally showing on-screen translations for the feat in question?
He would argue that it's because it's an infinitely expanding dark sky. So this is the problem with using the translation that they used. They argue it's infinitely expanding to argue that it would eventually be infinite. That's the position being made. It was done. That translation was done that way on purpose in order to prevent it from being infinite. But if you just translate it effectively, it just comes out as infinite. There's no
I mean-
expanding in the kanji. That doesn't exist.
I mean, even if something's like infinite, it's still technically expanding. Like, even if something is infinitely expanding, it would still be considered infinite because even to destroy that space
Yes,
requires
yes.
infinite energy.
I understand that, but I'm pointing out that the specific reason they translated it that way was to ensure that a certain rating for that would be used, because that is a translation for VSB specifically.
Yes.
So it was done with a bureaucratic intention. It was
Yes.
not done with the intention to get a quote unquote accurate position.
Yes.
So-
Which is what I was about to say right now. If you're going to potentially say this, potentially say that, why don't you fucking potentially use the actual scan, which states also beyond human comprehension?
Another thing I would like to mention is he states by his logic, Pluto created the two realms, or the demon world and human world, and he says low multi. Why is he potentially high uni? He should by default be low multi as well, via beating Pluto.
I guess he's just talking about this feat and this feat skills in that, so he's trying to provide consistency. And I'm like, bro, he created that when he's. If you have access to that guide, well, I know you don't have access to that guide because you probably just grabbed this from fucking sites, I guess. But
He probably grabbed
I was
this off
gonna
the flag
say-
sale.
I was gonna say if Flames stuff should also have the other parts of the Precious Tears Memorial album, which states
Yes, it does.
and make it very clear that the area that Mundus is sealed away in is separated from the flow of time itself. So that universe would have its own time flow. So that's a uni plus feat. That is not a uni feat. Every uni
Yes.
feat in DMC is just a uni plus feat.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
So
every
no.
every every dimension in DMC is also considered to be a space-time continuum. So that's already
That's what uni plus means.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's already in the 4D range by default.
Also, for people who want to know exactly how I know, this man presented an actual, like, because you could tell from the color differentiation, he presented an actual scan, not the translated scan from the DMC3 manga that talks about the primordial chaos or the primordial existence, the crucible.
Mm.
There's only a handful of people.
potential man Mundus. Yeah, he's potential man.
Yes.
What is it?
he-
0 feeds, 0 statements, 7 something. You should call him 007 because
I still remember your meme
Give me
video
this.
with Argosax and Mundus being the biggest
yeah,
fraud.
honestly, if you ever want to talk about Mundus being a fraud, it is only specifically in relation to his character, in how he never manages to accomplish his goals. You never call him a fraud from a power scaling standpoint. You would be dead before that sentence is even finished.
It takes a whole ass
This-
different version of this man to achieve his goals.
Yeah, but the
But yes.
potential crafty, yes.
If
Yes,
Mr.
so,
Crafty
I don't
uses
trade.
POC, then I'm expecting the Chaos timeline. He probably
No,
doesn't
you're
even
not
know that
going to.
exists. He probably doesn't even
No,
know.
you're not. So I was gonna say this: two things. For Flamescope, the reason why I know DMC3 manga scan, the Crucible, that is particularly the untranslated, or not the, it's the untranslated version, because you could just tell not based off of just the
Bless you.
kanji. but also because of how dark the actual fucking scan is. If you look it up online or take a look at most of the images from it, it is the dark, the black portion is very, very gray. It's not like black.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I know that was from Flame Scale, because I've only ever seen 15 people on, and I could count them. I can name them all. 3 of them are here. It's you, Mangler, and me. Those are 3 of the 15 people here I know that actually use that scan, because almost anyone else is too brain dead and will use the online scan. The next one I know is...
You don't have to name them all. We get the point.
Yes. No. Also, the second point was that he's not going to mention it because this is what Crafty does. If he takes scale, if it's anything but DMCs, I don't know why, but if it's anything but DMCs, he'll use the scale that they gave him or the scale that he's ripping off in its entirety. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If it's DMC for some reason, this man would Frankenstein the fuck out of it for whatever reason, just to argue whatever tiering he wants.
Yeah,
So
we can
you're
continue.
not going to see Chaos Timeline. I'm sorry.
Oh, hello, Ultra.
This is important for Dante, as even teenagers, Virgil was noted that he could have beaten a weakened Mundus if not for his injuries, potentially meaning Dante and Virgil, even as teens, would scale to this Pluto or low multiversal creation power. And from here, that's all you're going to get for feats specifically, as yes, there are beings who just outright scale to the cosmology, but that doesn't grant any new tier power, it just makes Dante's already established scaling more consistent. However, if we follow...
What?
Hang on. What else? What else does he have to say? He might have something. He might have
Dante's
something.
massive power-up, so his history of his games, he can reach into a higher tier. As in DMC 1, Dante needed Sparta's Devil Trigger just to beat Mundus. However, after the events of this game, during the events of DMC 2, and the novelization that takes place afterwards, Dante and Base can beat a stronger Mundus and bully Argosax, a demonic ruler known to have equaled Mundus.
No, he used the... Oh, okay. Majin.
Oh, you know what? He's gonna go on this position over and over again. Everybody believes that Dante bullied Argosax, but whatever. They can believe that. They can be wrong.
The guidebook debunks that.
The game debunks that because Argosax has his wings broken and he still fucking parries Dante's strongest fucking attack, which is Stinger.
I mean,
he parried it.
What's worse?
He actually didn't just parry it. I'd point out he deflected Dante's blade, which no one has ever done.
Rebellion.
By the way, Virgil has never sent Dante's blade out of his fucking hand like that.
Actually, no, he did.
While
That in
he
the
was
first
badly
fight.
wounded.
Oh well, while he was badly wounded, yeah.
While he was badly wounded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You remember Virgil losing both of his legs and then sending Rebellion to the moon? I don't remember that happening.
He made Rebellion flat at Dante's hand, but in their first fight.
I think that's a little bit different, but
that's
okay.
So,
anyway.
what I'm going to mention is this absolute fucking dumbass uses the DMC 5 history of DMC for specifically stating Argosax scales to Mundus, but that's for pre-DMC Argosax. That's when the two of them are at their throat.
This isn't particularly relevant to scaling. It doesn't like matter for what he's arguing because he's going to argue the multiplier position. That's what everybody does.
Not did you see what really say
Let's just wait.
fight? Yeah. He would not have beaten Argosax without it.
Also, there's a certain guidebook translation for Argosax where it verbatim implies that he was toying with Dante through his
again, guys. None of this is particularly relevant to this. All he's just trying to say is that he scales to the Demon King. Okay. I know he's wrong in like the actual information itself, but it's not relevant to his broader point.
Yeah,
this is
right.
an egregious section. We still have to
topic,
get to the Doom scaling.
Just within the difference between DMC 1 and 2, Dante already surpassed his father's Devil Trigger. This is very important as in the DMC 2 strategy guide. It's known that Devil Trigger gives a 10 times amps to the stats. Now, Sparta's Devil Trigger could potentially be stronger. However, lowballing for sake of consistency, let's just say it's a 10 times amp. And while in Devil Trigger, he would
okay,
gain
so now we're actually getting into real haggling. All right, let's see how this goes.
boost, or overall be 100 times stronger than his DMC3 iteration, only for the events of DMC5.
What is wrong with this man?
Right, this man is stupid.
He's 100 times
Why
more
are-
powerful. I don't remember where that statement came from.
Not only
But all right.
are you not showing any evidence of that, but why the fuck are you appealing to finite multipliers now? This is just another Dragon Ball situation all over again. What the? I mean, what the
Don't you know that if Goku's Uni and he has a Super Saiyan transformation, he's 50 times low multi?
Please.
Oh
Don't
yeah,
you know that's how that works?
totally. It's-
Shit.
God
Ryan, I'm
damn.
jumping off with you.
Dante
Max,
not only
are-
gets one-shotted out of double
Someone has to be alive to bury you two. I'll make certain there's a cleanup squad for when I'm done. Don't worry.
And he's gonna jump off after.
Right.
trigger, but gains an even stronger double trigger in the form of Sin double trigger, only for Yorison to then eat the Clyfoff fruit, and Dante to get a passive amp from the Clyfoff while on his way to Yorison. This passive amp was so much, it ended up helping him and equalizing against said Clyfoff Yorison while just in pace. So only
I can't even hear what they're saying because you guys are talking too much.
Oh, my bad.
He said, oh yeah, go ahead.
in the form of Sin double trigger, only for Yorison to then eat the Clyfoff fruit, and Dante to get a passive amp from the Clyfoff while on his way to Yorison. This passive amp was so much, it ended up helping him and equalizing
Yorison.
against said Clyfoff Yorison while just in pace.
No! He used STT against Urizen. What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he has a depiction in both Visions of E, which is the official manga for the series, and the art book that he
Yeah.
is flying instant double trigger and he's
Visions
fighting
of
Urizen in that
Great
form.
poses.
Yeah, like Urizen is literally made. Urizen is just 100% of Virgil's demonic power. He's basically a Majin form,
It's
so
just-
it doesn't
it's
make
just Majin.
logical sense. It doesn't make logical sense that Dante would be able to fight him in base. It's just that he in the cutscene, when the cutscene ends, he is in base. That does not mean he was in base for the entire fight.
Like Argus.
And we have visual depictions that disprove that position.
I don't think this man played DMC5 because he mentioned on his way to go to Urizen, he got a passive amp from the Quifod.
After he mentioned the Send Devil Trigger thing, which technically happens
Yes.
before, so he
Before.
put them in the wrong order chronologically. He seems to have a misunderstanding of how both time and space work. Interesting.
Only assuming Sin
we can
double trigger
continue.
gives the base 10 times amp, and Yorison didn't get any stronger, Dante in base would not only be
Yorison didn't get
10
any
times his
stronger.
last, or around
What?
100 times his team
Well, what
self.
about
And if he was
that
at
fruit of the loom he just ate? Does that count? They're like fruit made by the tree that made everything and gave him nothing but power, and he ate it explicitly for the purposes of making himself stronger. But he didn't get stronger. Oh well, I guess Urizen was just he was just a joke. It was just a prank, bro.
It's just a prank. I'm gonna be honest. Urizen didn't even really need the Clyfot route. He really didn't.
He didn't need it to be Demon King level, but that's not why he wanted it. He just wanted to be powerful.
I mean, he already had an absolute transcendence over the demon world. So like,
I mean, he didn't because apparently he got beaten by a hobo.
oh wait, yeah.
full power like against Virgil, he'd be another 10 times stronger, or at least 1,000 times stronger than himself, and by proxy, Pluto,
Oh my God.
Moonus, and
What are these
Argos.
multipliers?
Okay, so
To put
that
perspective-
doesn't even the multiplier doesn't even make sense because why would you? First of all, why would you assume the Sin Double Trigger is the same level of multiplier as the DD when like the Sin Double Trigger is supposed to be all of his demonic power and all of his human power? It's made by combining both of them together, so it would be a much higher multiplier
Mm-hmm.
than like 10 times. Also, we have statements in interviews, well, not in interviews, but my friend Balrog went
Oh, yeah.
and asked Matt Walker at a conference. He actually has a video of this, which we put on our channel at times, and where he asks Matt Walker and Insuno, well, the Devil Trigger multiplier is like in every game, and he points out that, or what the Devil Trigger multiplier is, and Matt Walker just basically says that it changes every single game in lore.
Mm-hmm.
So as the games would continue, it obviously be getting higher. It's not getting lower
Yeah.
because he's getting stronger as he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
So
Let's continue.
Yeah.
While the previous villains could destroy or scale to 3 separate infinite universes, Dante, at a minimum, while being
Wait,
super conservative,
where's the third one? Where's the third one coming from?
Mirror realm.
Hold up.
The mirror realm. He never mentions the
No,
mirror
no, no,
realm.
no, no. He doesn't.
Mirror
It doesn't mention the mirror realm. He just mentions the human world mirroring the demon realm. So where's the third one coming from? I mean, yeah, the mirror realm does exist, so sure, but like, this is just acid in general because he just doesn't understand that the demon world has multiple space times inside of it. But like, which anyone would realize if they played the game for like, played DMC3 or DMC1 for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I like.
It's not the gray zone, so he's got to be thinking about the mirror realm. This is the only way that like I can answer this.
Both of you to assume this guy has played the mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
scale to over 3,000. Just based off his amps, Dante would easily be multiversal, and as I said, this is being borderline disingenuous to all the amps either Devil Trigger or the Clyfoff gives.
I'm sorry,
The Doomslayer-
like, this is a level of wank for Dante that I can't accept. We argue him much higher, but off of things that we can definitively prove. You're just ass-pulling numbers to get him as high as possible. I guess to please the DMC fans so they can't argue that you're not a DMC supporter, but this is also downplayed at the same time. So
It's downplayed but like wanked at the same time.
It's wanked by the generous metric of like bad power scaling that where you know for a fact you can't justify those numbers. You're throwing it out there so that no one can accuse you of being biased towards DMC, which is not really how it works. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And if you're wrong for the wrong reasons, then well, you're definitely like not making a good case for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But like you could have said the same thing about Kratos as well. Like you tried to haggle Kratos, and then at the end you were like, "Oh well, he's actually only potentially multiverse." I'm like, "What? Were we just not getting that then?" Like, I'm sorry. Like, what? That you worked us up till the end of the video to tell us all the realms were universes, and this thing was dimensionally superior to the realms, and then he's only potentially multiverse.
Like, what the fuck?
And they're like, this doesn't even come close to Dante's full capability. This is massively downplay him. He's 3,000 times infinite universes. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I haven't seen Goku get that way. I haven't seen Goku get wanked this high, and Goku actually has direct multipliers for his transformations.
Oh man.
This might be like one of the only times I've had to call out Dante wank. And it's from a guy that I know doesn't wank Dante by heart, so it's like the saddest thing. It's
just trying to satisfy.
Not that I would even want that. Not that I would want that, because I'd rather have more people try to wank Dante so I could disprove them wrong from my knowledge of the series. But this is like the worst guy to represent this position. He's not even doing his own work for it.
Yeah.
Oh, now we get the Dork Slayer.
Oh,
all right, what we got?
There is a force of immeasurable power, from being able to wield the infinitely dense dunce mace
I've
to
seen this
defeating
argument so many times.
The infinitely dunce mace. Yes, I'm aware of how stupid this mace is. Even stupider are its fans for not being able to read the words on the page that describes how it works. Actually, you know what? That
from being able to wield.
There we go.
That sentence might have made me want to start on Doom Dark Ages, because I actually I downloaded it when after the game show happened, because they put the premium edition on sale for $30 for the whole game with all the season pass and everything. And I was like, "Hey, that's a steal!" Instead of $90.
Yeah.
I go bankrupt.
Its mere presence distorts the mind, rendering Sentinel scientists incapable of conducting through examinations.
So they literally say that its origin and material composite remain unknown to us. So they don't know what it is, they don't know how it functions, and they don't know the rules of that material. Alien to anything the Sentinels have encountered before. It is infinitely dense and rolling with energy beneath its surface. And mere presence distorts the mind, rendering Sentinel scientists and engineers incapable of conducting thorough examinations. So the very statement makes it very clear they can't even comprehend it, and they can't conduct a proper scientific analysis of it. So the infinitely dense thing is just the idea that it has a lot of mass and they can't mess with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're really just like stretching this to be like, well, it's literal. It's like, no, that's not how you use the word infinitely in a sentence. Infinite is, I hate to be this guy, but like infinite is not the word you want to be used. Arguably, like endless is a better word to be using to describe things as like a thing or like a phenomenon per quantity of like attribute or per attribute of like quantity for an object or a space. And endless falls into similar issues, but it's at least more consistent. The main issue is just the statement refutes your position. They literally say, yeah, we can't comprehend the thing, we don't understand it, and he's like, you know what? They understand it. Got it.
I also wanted to add on to this. Just because something is like infinitely dense, like they want to claim it is, even though it isn't, density and weight is not always a literal one-on-one correlation.
It's density by definition is not weight, because it's the way mass is like carried through the compaction of like molecules in a physical object.
Yeah, because you can have something that's like so dense, not even atoms could pass through, and it could just be the size of a marble. Whereas you can have, a bunch of clouds that are way bigger than said marble, and they're not as dense.
You could literally have like a football that has the mass of a planet, because the density, or not the mass of the planet, the density of a planet, because like there's so much energy packed into it at like, I don't know, like neutron star density or something like that, where it's so compactified. But then like you'd be able to pick it up still.
Yes,
which they never mention specifically that they can't pick up or like wield the object, which I know for a fact they can. That they can move it.
They try.
Because this is an object. Yes, this is an object they were able to interact with. They just couldn't understand it. So the density doesn't translate to mass. That just translates to the energy under there. But you can't even argue that even if there was an infinite amount of energy in there within the density, that energy is being, what's the term? Exfoliated, expunged,
conducted.
Conducted and then outputted out of the object into the existing physical space around the mace.
Yes.
All at once.
I was just gonna say this. You guys are talking about mass. It's just a simple formula. D is equal to M divided by V. It has a set mass. It has a set volume, right? It doesn't have infinite volume. Ergo, its density would have a set finite value. So this is just metaphorical for right now.
Is this like an infinite thing?
There's not much else he's going to be bringing up for Dark Ages. Everything else is going to come entirely from Eternal.
Eternal
making a prediction right now.
Yeah.
The infinitely dense dunce mace to defeating the icon of sin, the same entity that with its mere presence was distorting all of reality.
Oh,
it would have spawned a universal.
It's just a black hole.
Yes, its mere presence is distorting all of reality. That is true, because it specifically causes a black hole to appear.
We don't even know why it appears. That's the thing.
The resultant black hole would eventually drag our entire universe down, casting it into the mouth of hell as conquest to be absorbed by the dark realm.
It's part of the fact that the icon of sin just warps reality. Like, that is something that does happen, and it brings unstable elements into the universe, warping space-time. That's true, but that's a product, that's an ability that comes off of the icon of sin's presence. Like, the icon of sin doesn't punch with the force of a universe or produce energy equivalent to that of the universe.
He couldn't even destroy
you understand that, like, you understand that, well, he can, but you understand that, like, black hole, when it comes to black hole scaling, there's a black hole at the center of the Milky Way galaxy. There's also a black hole that's suspected to exist at the center of the universe. Black holes are like the strongest natural phenomenon that exists in the universe, because they're controlled by the most powerful force in the universe, which is gravity. The thing that bends light, space, and time itself. So yes, a black hole is definitely going to be capable of messing with the universe eventually over time. Which also, they do say the resultant will eventually drag our universe down, casting into the mouth of hell as a conquest to be absorbed by the dark realm. Yeah, probably like what, centuries or thousands of years. I mean, maybe it might be expedited because of the fact that the icon is here and its presence will make it worse. But like, it was on Earth for like several hours, and the planet didn't even bother getting like absorbed by a black. There was no black hole there.
But no, let's continue.
Destroying black hole. This Slayer is overall an immensely strong being, so let's dissect just how strong he truly is. As we've already established that as early as the icon can destroy the universe with its mere presence, said universe, which is noted in the Doom survival guide to be of infinite size, meaning off-rip the icon could have already destroyed or be capable of affecting.
Let me see that statement again, good sir. If you mind.
In the center
of the East Chapel is a large square reservoir. This river releases monsters from across the infinite universe. Mode 4 Baron appears a few feet diagonally forward from the entrance. Why is this in Japanese?
Why is this Japanese? This is from Bethesda.
This is it. Do you have the English one? Because that would be the official. Are we gonna do this again, or we're gonna, bro? If that's not in the official version, like, the fuck out of here.
This is for the fucking BFG 9000. Wait a minute, here. Let me see if I can fucking get this. Honestly, this is gonna make me crash out.
I mean, it's like, let me guess. Did you check the guide and there wasn't the statement here? So then someone told you in the Japanese version it had it, and then you're like, oh baby.
Yeah,
I mean, it probably is if it's a display. Doom isn't known for getting. Doom is actually not known for getting a lot of fake scans when it comes to their guides.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Other things, though.
Why is it in Japanese? Exactly. That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's what we said. Like, the company that produced it was Bethesda and ID Software, and they are, again, English-produced companies. Like, they're produced mostly in America.
The States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like, why would it be in Japanese?
It's almost as if they're on par with.
You can continue. I'll find the scan. I need to go get my phone while I'm at it.
They're on par with God of War. It's trying to fabricate shit for no reason.
No, nothing will ever be as bad as God of War's fabrication of scans. Those people are another level of like thirsty. They are desperate for
they know
something, anything. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It'd almost be admirable if it wasn't so pathetic. Like their sheer dedication to the need to please themselves.
Mm-hmm. Let's continue.
Meaning off-rip, the icon could have already destroyed or be capable of affecting infinite universal energy. However, this is just scratching the surface. As in the in-game codex,
89
that the
gigs?
What?
Oh, sorry, I was reading. I was shooting something out.
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, where did it say 89 gigs?
It's the Doom Dark Age is 89 gigs. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Energy. However, this is just scratching the surface. As in the in-game codex, it notes that the icon was threatening the implicit order of the universe. Now, David Bohm's theory of implicit order believes a universe is a multi-dimensional reality due to the various dimensional infolds and unfolds that leads it to being infinite dimensional. If this is to be right.
Wait, what? Huh?
Good fucking lord.
That's
Why is this relevant?
the implicate order is just referring to the state in which the laws exist in the universe, which is also what that scientist was referring to in that theory. But you didn't bother reading it for more than 2 seconds. You just saw multi-dimensional in there. It was like, hold up, let me read the rest of the sentence. Higher dimensional. Higher dimensional. Ooh. You can even see the moment where his eyebrows like raised to the ceiling.
Wait a minute.
Till he's like... I mean, if we read the statement that the Icon of Sin has, which it's back there, I think like 5 seconds or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
The Icon of Sin, the Icon's presence warps reality, dampening the implicate order of our universe merely by existing with it. If the Icon is allowed to remain unchecked, it would lead to the total devastation of Earth, followed by a breakdown of space-time around the planet. The resultant black hole will eventually drag our entire universe down, casting it into the pit as a conquest to be absorbed by the dark realm. The Khan Maker had taken measures to augment the Titan, installing Maker technology through its structure to ensure it could be controlled. But the ritual interrupted, the icon is now fully unleashed, raging across hell until Earth, until hell consumes all. No longer bound by the heart of the cherished sun, the icon of sin is free by any measure of control that the Makers might have conceived. Only the Slayer prophesies Argenta legend to stand against the. Yeah, it basically says only the Slayer could beat him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not completely little off there, but so what I was gonna say was just that like the statement is clearly referring to the fact that it is going to cause a breakdown of how space-time works around the planet, but even the universe itself is not being broadly threatened. It's just a black hole is being spawned into the world, which I'll be honest, you could cause a black hole inside of the existing universe fairly easily. All you have to do is cause a sun to go like nova, or like a star somewhere to go nova at a certain point in its system. Like if it's a red giant, you just have to expedite it or find a way to compress it down into stellar into like neutron star density until it attempts to like explode. And when that happens, due to that energy being released, there's a good chance that if it compresses effectively after it novas, it might go back, it might collapse in on itself, causing it to become a black hole.
Yeah.
The only difference that you would argue here is that like he's bringing in the phenomenon for a black hole to happen due to reality being in a funky way.
Mm-hmm.
But that is totally possible due to the state of which the universe exists. I mean, a black hole only really comes about as a result of like massive gravitational forces from enormous celestial bodies basically having their mass be crushed in at a high rate, primarily stars.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, that's a good hacks to have for him, but it's not like applicable in a versus matchup or for scaling because he's not doing it. It's a phenomenon of his presence. Everyone's like, "Oh, his mere presence." Is like, yeah, but it's not because of power.
It's because there's like
there's just something that he does. Like even the other Titans don't do that, and he's a Titan. Like he just has a unique ability.
Isn't his unique ability just a black hole?
It's more so reality warping, but like yes, it brings in a black hole. It warps reality to summon a black hole, so that the black hole will wipe out everything. If that wasn't the case, then like it would just be like a giant fucking bull running around attacking buildings on a planet until he eventually live wiped the planet, which would probably take him like years, to be honest.
It would be an overtime feat, yeah.
Anyway,
The icon was threatening the implicit order of the universe. Now, David Bohm's theory of implicit order believes a universe is a multi-dimensional reality due to the various dimensional infolds and unfolds that leads it to being infinite dimensional. If this is to be referenced into his theory and believes to be taken literally, that means just one universe in Doom is not only infinite in size, but also contains infinite amount of these infinite.
Wait, so why is he mentioning Bohm again?
Okay, so that's an assumption. That's an assumption based on what you are taking the implicit order to mean. You have to have evidence to back up that assumption. And secondly, mentioning an infinite amount of dimensions has nothing to do with it. Like, okay, so this is something I have to mention is that, like, technically speaking, every universe theoretically in fiction has an infinite number of dimensions. That doesn't mean anything. Every single universe has that. Because by definition of you having 1 dimensions, 2 dimensions, 3 dimensions, and 4 dimensions, you effectively have every number above that up to infinity. It doesn't make any of the dimensions superior or inferior to each other, nor does it explain the nature of their properties, just that they'd be embedded around each other, which is the basal scientific interpretation that we have of things due to relativity. That is it.
Really quickly, can you go back to where he had the scan?
The Japanese one?
Because I'm trying to look for. Yeah.
You were at the part where it was like the where you started mentioning Bohm, right?
Oh, I was listening in. I was listening to everything.
Oh yeah.
Okay, a little bit more to the left.
Icon can destroy the universe with its mere presence. It's a
Okay,
universe which is noted in the Doom
G3A
survival
is
guide to be
not.
of infinite size.
This is not demonic hordes. This is not from specifically Alien Vendetta. Okay. You would think, with the amount of times, like it says, what's it called? East Chapel. This will be easy to find, but apparently fucking not. Jesus.
You can't find it?
This exists. But I'm trying to see where.
I might have to just ask
This
him,
is-
like, what's his source on this?
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
could
read
find
the
this.
I haven't read the chat for a bit.
This is not from any of the recent ones, as far as I'm aware of. Because
Oh, we're barely into the
BFG
video.
9000.
Audio cut out, right? Because she couldn't touch Kratos at the end of the game. Ragnarok is the strongest God of War character. Is that a statement or a question?
I think it's a
Ragnarok should be.
statement.
Oh wait, that's way earlier. In equal stats, no abilities or acts, Leon Kennedy beats Dante. How do you guys? Do you guys want to talk about that? Because you know Leon Kennedy better than I do.
For
That's
what?
just him. That's just Dino. That guy rage baiting. He does that in the chat all the time, where he says Dante's like wall level, and then he'll proceed to say Dante's like high outer. But
What do you say?
equal
It's
stats,
just
no hacks,
something.
Leon high diff, Dante or something.
No.
Ustanak above Netflix Dante. I feel like that name's familiar.
Ustanak
This
is
is
a
Dino.
character in Resident Evil.
Icon of Sin versus Freddy Krueger. Hey, Melissa was asking about the Freddy Krueger questions earlier in streams. I can't answer that because I'm not a Freddy Krueger person. I mean,
Freddy
about
Krueger wins.
maybe a
He
bit.
definitely wins. He touches kids.
Oh yes, obviously.
Why are we acting like that would be a necessary skill to fight a giant thing size? It's like, man, he touches kids. That's dangerous.
I mean, the kids are real life. The kids are in real life, okay? In real life, you create
So-
the tier system.
What
It's
are you
easy.
saying?
Tier
I
1
mean,
scale.
I would say buildings are also very real. Yeah, maybe that's just too surface level.
No,
Or
I've
one
seen kids destroy entire
universe to a
buildings.
We can only guess.
Okay, so off of Bohm's theory,
these
That's
infinitely
automatically
sized
multiversal.
universes, or one universe would equate to a multiversal construct. This is all very impressive.
this
But
kind of
why
fit
is he
into
just
philosophy?
taking implicit? Yes, technically, because Bohm's theory is not scientifically proven. It's just a philosophical and scientific. It's a pseudo of both worlds. It's similar to
We
modern
call it
realism.
pseudoscience.
Pseudoscience, yes. It's similar to modern realism. It's
Yeah.
exactly the same thing as modern realism.
It's
what
not.
am I gonna
It's not quite like black hole theory, and it's not like most of the theories in quantum mechanics, where it's based on the general scientific premise and it has a formula behind it, and there's making an espoused extrapolation for their hypothesis, and they haven't had a chance to test it. And then they try to rigorously test it afterwards, and they're just maybe unable to come to sufficient data. That would at least be something that's like partially credible. But again, without sufficient evidence, we can't even like claim or follow their conclusion. His is like just he's just making he's just talking about generally what he believes to be the case.
Well, that's the other thing. From what I remember, Bones theory, it wasn't even that they weren't able to gather sufficient data. I don't even think they gathered data.
No,
Like
yes,
actual
he's just sitting down at a desk giving you his thoughts. He didn't run an experiment. He's like, guys, this is what I believe.
yes. Oh, yes,
It's a
yes. It's a
theory.
lot like David Lewis. It's just a lot like David Lewis.
It is what people legitimately think scientific theories are. It's like, guys, it's just a theory, a science theory, and then you have actual science over here doing like fucking summoning volcanoes with all this baking soda and vinegar and performing lab experiments. They're going through this rigorous scientific testing to test everything from a speck of dirt, the temperature in the room, and they're like, I don't have enough data.
Yeah.
It's very much the comparison of like you ever seen the way that English teachers talk about like students that they have that want to be writers, and students and people that try to be writers that don't think they can be writers. It's like a person who basically says they want to be a writer, and then the teacher will be like, "Hey, what are your favorite authors?" And they can't name a single one. And then people who want to be a writer will constantly criticize that they don't feel that they have the adequate means to be an effective writer, and they've written like not just like hundreds of thousands of words. They've written multiple essays. They have plenty of favorite authors they can name right off the bat, but they never think they're good enough. People who actually have the knowledge have much higher standards, and they want to aspire to, and have much higher critiques.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit souls. I think this
What
is
happened?
from I think this is from Doom. Like Doom.
Well, hang on. We should probably continue regardless. I've been ranting for.
As the icon with just its presence was threatening to destroy not only the universe, but the entirety of the space-time continuum. The Slayer can not only make easy work with the icon, but is capable of much more. As noted by Vega, just as a byproduct of the Slayer's battles against demonkind.
It's just Vega referring to a hypothetical simulation. It doesn't actually happen. So, moving on.
You literally play it. It doesn't happen. So.
Yep.
It's going to implode on itself. This is so much more impressive, as is noted by the con maker, that the multiverse of Doom splits off to several physical infinite timelines and possibilities, meaning that the Doom multiverse contains infinite.
Go back to the skin, please.
There it is.
Thank you. Within the infinite consciousness of the maker that sees every possibility, every predictive variable of possible future timelines, each one known to their collective things. Yes, so it is a predictive analytical machine that is producing an infinite number of possibilities with its calculus. And what it has come to the conclusion through is that through every single predictable variable, the Slayer is a common collective. Now, you can use that to argue that he is definitively the end-all be-all of their civilization, but that's just because he is objectively powerful enough to kill all of them, experienced enough to kill all of them, fast enough to kill all of them, and he has a strong enough will to kill every single one of them. So that, like, what it's referring to is that, like, inevitably the Slayer is going to kill all of them.
Yeah.
People need to start taking a look at possible.
Yeah, it has nothing. It has nothing to do with there being actual timelines existing in the multiverse. When something says there's an infinite number of possibilities, that doesn't even need to refer to existing tangible physical universes. That just just refers to predictive models.
There's a reason it says possibilities.
Yes, possibilities aren't realized or actualized, as sponsor prefers to use.
Yes. Well, it's scientifically correct term, yes, but
whatever. The point is like existing possibilities versus unexisting possibilities.
I would say just completely forget about the word possible. It literally just states every potentiality.
Existing realities. There you go. Existing realities.
No, I'm talking about the scanning question.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
forget the word possible. Potentiality.
In actual multiverse with existing infinite realities versus one with infinite possibilities is that one actually exists and the other one has the potential to come into existence. The statement's not even saying that, and that's also contradicted by that game that you mentioned, because the DLC makes it very, very clear that the father, or more accurately,
Davoth.
What was his face? Davoth. Yeah.
Davoth. Yeah.
Davoth. He only made a few universes in the Doom cosmology, and he had to physically travel to specific places in order to create life there. So he definitively could not have created an infinite number of places. That's not possible, because he would have had to be pretty much everywhere all at once. I know he's going to argue he's like speed or whatever. Actually, you know what? I don't think he will, because he hasn't talked about speed this entire video for any of these characters or hacks or anything. No, the way this video is organized, like
he doesn't even know about the engines.
No, he does know. He probably does know about them because you need them for the scaling.
You'd be surprised.
physical infinite timelines and possibilities, meaning that the Doom multiverse contains infinite amount of these universes who are not only just infinite size, but debatably contain their own infinite amount of universes inside them, which I would classify this cosmology as a complex multiverse.
How is that complex? How?
That would just be like,
Right.
even if that were true, that would just be an infinite number of like normal three-dimensional universes. Because the characters in the three-dimensional universes aren't interacting with the higher axes. Not that any of those higher axes of space even have superiority over the lower ones.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
How is this man using?
I
three-dimensional
remember,
theory?
I distinctly remember Mangler mentioning this, that the Doom cosmology actually isn't infinite.
It's not,
Well-
for the reason I just mentioned right there. It's the cosmology is made by Devoth, because Devoth uses the engines of creation from the void to manually create universes using stuff in the void. But he has to specifically choose a location from the void where he wants to make it, because obviously there isn't anything existing. It's all in the void at the time. So when he makes a physical space, at that point he's made a reality. Then he needs to go to another place and make another reality. And he needs to keep doing that over and over and over again. And he also needs to label and number each one. That is why Urdak is called the sixth dimension, because it's the sixth dimension he made.
I don't know where he got complex multi, not even low complex multi.
Why is this man using dimensional theory like the system if like he doesn't like it? He doesn't believe like it exists.
Doomslayer beats Dante low diff. Dino, I thought you were on the position Doomslayer was a debunked fodder. You can't even stay consistent yourself just for the sake of trolling. Jeez.
If he's trolling, just leave him alone.
I think you have a bot down there.
I do have a
Yeah,
bot. I banned him, but for some reason the things still come up. He's been making a lot of posts about me lately. Anyways.
And thus the Doomslayer would scale to this just as a byproduct of his fights. However, you can argue that Urdak, the heaven equivalent of Doom, is beyond this multiverse of Doom, as it's not only known to be a higher dimension, but that even the makers themselves are
What?
But it's within the multiverse. What?
How is it a higher dimension?
unbounded by this
Gonna mention-
existence of space and time, of the cosmos.
No,
However,
pause it.
regardless if you
Oh, you missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it literally says Urdak itself exists in an anchor state, utilizing highly advanced dimensional shift technology to allow a static position at sub-quantum level. This essentially inverts their position in relation to hell. Both planes of existence are fixed outside the bounds of the known universe, a higher and lower reality. Yeah, so they're telling you, they're clarifying to you directly the specific reason it is considered higher and lower. The context is that one of them is put into a sub-quantum state by shifting its position relative to the universe. One of them exists below and one of them exists above.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally locationally, geographically above and below each other. That doesn't speak to how big or how small Hell or Urdak is, or even the standard universe. It just means that in relation to each other, one of them is in the middle, one of them's on top, and one of them's on bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There's no superiority.
Higher means
Going on.
As
literally
Gordon
higher.
Ramsay would say, making an idiot sandwich with two pieces
I
of
guess
bread and a fucking
you
chef in the middle.
I said these guys were like cavemen when it came to like a lot of their positions. They just kind of bang their heads together like rocks, but they really are too, because they also seem to approach dimensional tiering the way that like primitive people approach sex. Like they just hate bottoms too. They're just like fucking. I really don't know what it is with this like incredibly oversimplistic view of stuff. It's kind of a bit depressing and disappointing to see this in human beings.
Yeah.
But whatever.
are unbounded by this existence of space and time, of the cosmos. However, irregardless if you believe that Urdak scales above the already established cosmology, Hell does. As Hell, or Urdak, is noted in The Art of Doom, Eternal did not only be unlimited by the boundaries of space, time, and dimensionality, but also to transcend them as well. A notion that
Oh, this this yet.
No, it just the transcendent statement is just referring to the fact that the pathways lead to space and time, which is stated in the description that you're using. It's unlimited by boundaries of time, space, and dimensionality. Yes, because it has pathways that transcend space and time. They lead literally everywhere in the multiverse. So no, there is no boundary on. It's just telling you they literally have the ability to go anywhere. Like hell is effectively. I mean, it's not really like the hub world of the multiverse, but in a way, you can technically consider the hub world of the Doom multiverse because you can basically go anywhere you want if you go to hell. Although you're probably not practically going to get there because those demons are they're gonna jump you.
Yeah.
They're gonna JJK
not
you.
do anything. Yeah. Never seen a group of demons so fucking scared of doing anything.
Yes.
Also, I wanted to mention something about this hell being quote unquote unlimited by the boundaries of space, time, or dimension. At most, it just means that it has the ability to connect itself to other dimensions. It's not literally above it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this notion of hell transcending time and space gets contradicted due to the fact that it later says hell is itself a living thing, implying it has some form of physical form and thus cannot transcend time and space. So it's
also contradicted pretty significantly by Eternal. I mean, those statements that you're referring to are in descriptions for a lot of the gore nests in Eternal, because Eternal is really what gives us like depictions of hell. 2016 doesn't as much, even though you do go to hell.
You might as well throw that statement out of the window.
Well, it also gets contradicted by the UAC because you're told that the UAC has basically set up bases and defenses and a resistance under Samuel Hayden on the Earth after the invasion happened in Eternal. How invaded Earth. And you're shown that they were literally using like artillery and weapons and firearms of every kind, from combat shotguns to plasma rifles, yes, which do use Argent energy, but also just combat pistols and other things, heavy assault rifles. And they were killing demons with like weapons they manufactured out of like an industry plant. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, these beyond dimensionality demons that are supposed to be like far beyond your comprehension are being killed by a shotgun that I can buy at the mall. Like, that seems a little bit, contradictory.
Yeah.
Your position.
To say the least, but.
Very much so.
Let's continue.
I'm just trying to logically track where it states it transcends the multiverse. Where does it state this?
It doesn't.
It does not.
It never has this relationship to the other spaces that you're claiming. And this is the only scan that's the problem. You have multiple scans that talk about how hell exists respective to the multiverse. You have one scan that talks about hell in general, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Let's continue.
These time and dimensionality, but also to transcend them as well. A notion that is brought up within the Doom 3 light novel, making it pretty blatant that they're them as well. A notion that is brought up within the
life force of the entire planet was embedded inside it, a war against evil that transcended time and space. Cain held the artifact up, he aimed at the giant demon king, if that's what it was, and began firing.
Doom 3 does not have a light novel. What?
It probably does. No, Doom actually has more than a couple novels.
Oh, wait, it does.
If I remember this one, because I remember a lot of things, what it means by it transcending time and space is specifically because the Demon King is just fucking ancient as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the forces of evil in Doom 3 are basically there for, like, I don't know how long. They've been there for, like, I think eons, I want to say.
Also,
right,
transcending time and space would still refer to something at its most generous interpretation, just being outside your universe, which is true, because demons in Doom come from Urdak, which is a separate dimension.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't
Yes.
have to be superior. They just come from a different dimension. So like I don't even know why that like what that
Yeah.
even mean. Like it's not impressive. Most demons come from other dimensions in most series.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's continue.
Doom 3 light novel, making it pretty blatant that they're not saying that hell is simply separate from the rest of the cosmos, but actually beyond it. And if you do believe that Erdrak's a tier beyond this cosmos, then hell is noted to be a realm that's actually
This is the same scan.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah, it's the same thing involving a realm superior to Urdak. Yeah, it's only Jekka is only considered superior in the sense that specifically in the sense that like most of its denizens are more prepared for like war and conflict. It's never actually explained what makes it superior. Because when you go to Urdak versus like Jekka, there's not like a meaningful difference in the space or time. The physics work exactly the fucking same. There isn't any natural phenomenon that's different, other than there being just like biological life there, though that's mostly Jekka. That's Jekka after it got corrupted, because keep in mind, this is referring to like transformed hell. The original Jekka, which we've never seen. We've never seen the original Jekka.
Yeah.
We might see it at some point in the future if we ever get like a prequel game. But currently we have not seen what the original Jekka looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We've only seen it after it's been transformed into hell.
Yeah.
So we don't really have the context for that statement, and even if it did mean dimensionally superior, that's again contradicted by the games consistently. You would have to assume every single being in that has the same kind of scaling, and the games very clearly indicate that like anything in the verse can kill demons. You don't have to be strong enough to kill them. You can just kill them with firearms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hello, Mark. Welcome back, technology. Fun fact, salt doesn't dehydrate you rather too much of it can.
superior to it anyway, meaning the actual Doom cosmology is probably a tier or two beyond this complex multiversal range. The Doomslayer scales.
What? Huh?
You cannot be
Hang
a
on a
tier
minute.
2 beyond that. What?
If we can get it below out of Versal, that's still a win in my book. That'd still be better than like 99% of Doom scalers.
Oh yeah, like Digital T out of Versal just because he said so.
Oh, that was
can
that
not only
was so
fight
funny.
and kill the Dark Lord Devoth, who is known to have created everything, but can also destroy it on a whim. The same Dark Lord who threatened to
easy.
destroy.
Oh yes, man!
Oh,
I
great.
love being able to just give somebody like massive chain scaling and every interpretation, every benefit of the doubt, because of like 2 lines of dialogue that have no specifics given. Incredible. I have to be over here explaining to people like everything about Moon, his backstory, and everything about his entire family history, just to explain why he created a space that you see him do on panel with his stupid jazz hands. And you're over here like being like, yeah, well, I've got 2 sentences, and this guy that's losing this fight and some whitewashed history that's not even completely correct. But we'll give him everything.
Yeah.
But Moon is over there, questionable. Hi, Uni, take it or leave it.
Hell as a
Hi, Uni,
byproduct
take
of
it
his
or leave
fight
it.
with
But the lowest I can give Doomslayer is Hyperversal. I don't know.
father, a creation of his own. Overall, the Slayer would scale to the full length of his cosmology by a tier or 2, and can increase his already complex multiversal power by at least 10 times.
Is this VSBW?
No, it's CSAP.
Oh, that's captcha. The Berserk pack increased the strength of the player's punch tenfold, but it only
He can increase his already complex dimensionality by using the Berserk pack.
How do you get an entire tier of dimensionality above with finite multipliers?
How do you get up there with
That's not even how that works. What?
Well, hold up a minute. Hold up a minute. Where is my complex multi Dante with the 3,000 fucking infinite universes?
Moon is
Hang on,
Doomslayer
hang on,
Kratos.
I
Moon is
can't believe
Presence Diffs.
I can't believe I'm asking for this. He really is haggling. This is insane. He's actually made me want more wank for an already unjustifiably wanked position. This video is so bad. That's incredible.
Let's see what else.
I've
he says.
never actually desired that from someone. This guy, if he
You're
was
gonna-
a comedian, he would have been great. I mean, making me laugh.
You're gonna want to watch the video before this one, the dimensional scaling one, mainly.
That one is so bad. It actually made us rage quit.
Made you guys rage quit. Made me rage quit. I couldn't keep quiet. How many
Crafty even
up in
watched the
arms?
video.
You watched the video? Fucking said nothing, ducked, and fucking left.
And the fact that I thought, like, oh, Crafty will show up. I'm sure he'll
Continue.
show up. Stream time, he doesn't show up.
Times if you use the in-game mechanic of his rage boost.
In-game mechanic.
Hey guys, so this is the conclusion
What
to
the
the
fuck,
video,
bro?
and yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just really done with this video, and this is gonna be some very bare minimum editing for this part, but the overall winner is pretty cut and dry, as I don't think it's gonna be a big issue for either.
Wait, go ahead, Ryan.
Hold on. Back the fuck up, guys. You're talking. You're in the important part of the video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just really done with this video, and this is gonna be some very bare minimum editing for this part, but the overall winner is pretty cut and dry, as I don't think it's gonna be a big issue for either of them. They can all be scaled or crossed infinite distances, and are somehow beyond time or the speed equation. You can maybe make the argument for either of these guys to
What?
be individually
Via
a bit
what?
faster, but it's not really gonna make a big difference. That's something I'd like to address, which is Kratos' scaling, as at its highest it could potentially be stronger than the likes of Dante. However, with his scaling being very charitable, as we were assuming for the Norse portion that most if not all the 9 realms are actually mathematically infinite, based off very vague, endless statements, which if I'm being honest are pretty much hyperbolic. Hell, even Yggdrasil's statement of it branching off into infinity is just a perspective statement from Kratos, which is him being hyperbolic. More consistently, God of War is a low multi like DMC. However, unlike Dante, he has mathematical measurements to his power, which can put him in an edge in a physical contest. However, Doom Guy just
my
completely
God.
washes the both of them no contest, while Dante and Kratos are on this late DBZ or early Dragon Ball Super range, and while Dante has many forms of immortality, but we see if you're just massively stronger than him, you can knock him out. Same is to be said with Kratos. However, if you give him hope, he could potentially continuously come back, but that's just not really going to matter, as Kratos has no way to put the Slayer down and would just continuously be killed over and over again. At the end of the day, just purely by self scaling, the Doomslayer just ends
Dark
up on
Age is
top.
quite
That's not
literally
even
debunks
including his
that.
crazy potential BFR killing hexes, which probably
Okay.
would affect their mortality.
So we can pause it here. I love how, first of all, he didn't even bring up speed in the earlier sections at all. There was nothing, and now he's mentioned they can pretty much all cross infinite distances. Like, huh? The source?
Via
Okay,
what?
well, via nothing.
He doubles
Skips,
down on this.
skips over hacks and physiology entirely, and then kind of more or less brings it up afterwards in the conclusion, which doesn't make sense, and then also argues that all of Kratos' scaling kind of doesn't matter because many of the endless statements are incredibly hyperbolic, which is what we said to begin with, so he just refutes his own position. And this is like that
Then
dumb
where's he getting
Kingdom
infinite
Hearts
speed
video I had to react to. And then he just argues like Dante's way more consistent with his multipliers, but like it doesn't matter anyway because Doomslayer would be both of them, and there's no way to put Doomslayer down. Slayer has
Guys in
literally
his
been
own-
Slayer has literally been sealed away by like basic fucking demons that are like way weaker than him. And Dante, one of Dante's main kill conditions is sealing. So like, why is this even like a debate?
I'm
This man dies in his own game.
I'm
He
pretty
dies from a
sure
basic fucking
even
prince.
Kratos, Kratos doesn't actually have sealing. That would be like applicable, unfortunately.
no speed, no hacks. No, he doesn't even mention speed or hacks. Just APDC.
Wait, I think he's still talking about hacks right now.
There's
Hold on.
only 8 seconds left.
Anyway, that's all, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this one.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
Never mind.
We did not.
That's all.
He just say, oh, maybe you talk to hacks. That's all, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Okay, he doesn't.
That's all. We don't need to talk about that. It's not important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he says. Then he brings up that like they show up at like late Z, maybe early Dragon Ball Super. Okay, so let me be very clear about something as someone who not just read someone who didn't just read all of early Dragon Ball recently, but has gone through like a good chunk, all of the movies and GT and a lot of the Toei animation and plans to do a rerun of them. Dragon Ball Z's actual Toei animation does have arguments for being high uni to even like higher than that. In the original Toei animation, by the events of the Buu Saga, Kai, which leads into Super, does fucking not, because it follows the manga almost exactly. Most of those characters don't even beat Multisolar. I would actually argue they don't even get above Multisolar by the end of the Buu Saga. And if we're going into Dragon Ball Super, there is no Uni Plus feat at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. Those characters are high Uni at best. So if you want to scale every character here to low multi, even if you thought Goku was Uni Plus, which you'd have to assume off of like Hit or Zamasu, which is really makes a specific assumption about how Hit's like universe kind of like works, which is also weird because it's not entirely like a universe full space-time continuum. It's just a physical universe filled with time. But like whatever.
It's not even a physical universe. It's just a separate dimension. It's a short dimension.
I say universe in the sense that it's a space that he's occupying. Like I'm being charitable about how I'm describing it because I don't even think it has conventional matter in the way that you and I like think of it.
No, it does not. Mm-hmm. It has a very finite range.
And
actually, we see how finite it is.
Yes, it has a finite range because he specifically uses it to assassinate people. So he has to have it around him to travel.
No, not even that. I'm talking about the entirety of the dimension. Even the portions that Hit wouldn't even use.
I'm aware, but that's the most blatant example you could use for something that could have been argued for Uni Plus in the series. Not saying that there obviously aren't timelines and universe timelines. I'm talking about characters directly scaling to the things in question. Because even when Zeno tries to erase the universe, he still doesn't wipe out the timeline when he destroys Future Trunks' timeline.
Yes, that is true. Yes.
Because, and he's like the strongest character there.
Capable. Yes. I would disagree with the high uni position. I would argue low multi. But
there's just no evidence that they're destroying or even affecting the space-time continuum at all. There's nothing. That's there is
not with that. I would argue.
I know it's because of the hyperbolic time chamber, and I push back.
No. I would just argue that because of the way Toei and Kai and Super and even GT works. Well, actually, no. GT is a completely separate case.
No, so I don't consider Super or Kai to follow the worldview set by Toei Animation because they are literally not Toyama's work or his viewing at all.
I would disagree because of the way
it is explicitly against it. So I've seen the statements, I've read the manga, and I've compared them directly with the anime. There are entire inclusions of material and lore that are put into it that do make the cosmology better and flesh them out more. But that's also because they're not being written by Toriyama.
The manga was exclusively written by Toriyama for Super.
No. The manga was. I'm talking about the anime for Toei Animation for Z.
Yes, I'm also talking about Super.
Yes, Dragon Ball Super and Kai and the anime, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Kai, and the Dragon Ball Z anime were all involved and supervised by Toriyama. The actual Z anime and GT and the movies were not. They were not involved at all.
Ouch. Mm-hmm. Got him. I would say this is for a separate case. This has nothing to do with this.
The point I'm making overall is that if he's going to argue that they would be beaten by like early Dragon Ball, like that doesn't even make sense. Even if you believe it's Uni Plus or low multi, based on what this guy is arguing about God of War. I mean, he's wrong about God of War, but like it wouldn't even make sense for you to claim that. Although I guess he technically argues that like the multipliers make a difference, but then like that he was over here being like, "Hey, listen, Dante's got like 3,000 times. What did he say? 3,000 times infinite-sized universes."
Multiplier, yeah.
No, it was 3,000 times infinite-sized universes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
exact words. And I'm like, bro, I don't know if I can get Goku up to that with like Dragon Ball Super. And he said that was a low ball. He said that was a disgusting, like disingenuous low ball. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how they're losing to late Z, like in terms of power. Like no interpretation of late Z ever gets them that high.
Mm-hmm. Is Goku above Beerus
I
now?
think-
No, somewhere.
Or would you disagree, sponsor? Have you heard higher wink than that?
For Dragon Ball, for specifically Z, yeah, I have. There's one A.
In tier two, no.
No,
I'm talking like in tier two specifically in regards to like a
Yes.
specific amount of universes.
Yes. The old classic Stone Killer argued 2A.
I think it. No. I'm talking like
What the fuck is
in
spamming
the
my
like
chat?
finite amount of universes.
Oh,
Dude,
oh,
you should just start banning people.
No,
in
I
your chat
really
if they're
can't
gonna
see them.
spam
I can't
stuff.
see them in my chat. I can only see them in like the actual screen. It's not giving me
Just-
the option to ban them.
so this
How
was
are you
lagging
not?
out.
Are you not the
But,
owner of your own
No,
thing?
that's the thing. I can see them in like the actual video, but I don't see them in the chat.
Go to YouTube and click on the chat.
No, that's the thing. I'm on the chat right now. I don't see them in the chat.
I got it. I got it.
You see them, Ryan?
Or just make me a mod.
Oh yeah, I could
So-
do that.
Mark was asking, is Goku above Beerus now?
He's never
no.
particularly. Well, no. He was in the Tournament of Power, but that's always been retconned because Beerus is a moving goal.
So what they stated specifically was that there was a mortal in Universe 11 that Beerus can't defeat, and then he gets Ultra Instinct, and Beerus is like, "Oh, that's Ultra Instinct," and it's implied that like Beerus is like threatened by that power. And then later on, they're like, "Oh, did we say that? That wasn't us. What are you talking about? Forget that." Yeah, it's. I would argue it was clearly retcon, but the way that they said it, the way they wormed their way out of it was like really slimy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that was all for today's video. We'll probably react to Virgil or Vegeta versus Thor tomorrow. But thank y'all for watching.